This is the OK Conversation on OK FM 99.5. My name is Julius J. Welcome to it. From 4:30 to 6 o'clock. We have finally secured lies and delusion, the agreement of former Public Works Minister Ruth Coker Collins to talk about everything that matters during her tenure of the ministry and some of what is obtaining now. All of the issues, the allegations, the conversations. Last week, we had the Public Works Minister Giddens here, and he said some things as well about hard times. All of those things will be on the cards. Before then, we will talk about the issues that matter. Some very important issues to the safety of our country. And all I ask for is longer days. So stick and stay, share the video, invite others to join in. And if you don't like my doings, we're gonna fight every time. And if you live in a glass house, not stone. And if you can't take those don't throw. Yes, indeed. Don't ever try to do that. Here we go, right here. Nowhere else, but only on the OK Conversation on OK FM 99.5. Was making news across the continent. Gunmen on motorcycles have killed dozens of people in dawn raids across 3 villages in northwestern Nigeria. Armed men shot locals dead, set homes alight, and abducted an unknown number of people in Niger State. Musa Saidu, head of the State Emergency Management Agency, told the BBC. The attacks on Saturday morning occurred near the site of a suspected jihadist massacre earlier this month, in which more than 100 people were killed in a similar ambush. Ghana intends to request the extradition of a Russian man accused of illegally recording his sexual encounters with several women and sharing footage online without their consent. African and Russian media identified him as a self-styled pickup artist and online blogger in his 30s who had traveled to Ghana to secretly film his interactions with women. Outlets in both countries claimed the man used a pair of sunglasses fitted with a camera to film some encounters and circulated them on social media, though officials did not confirm this. A now-halted plan to run a hepatitis B vaccine trial involving thousands of newborns in Guinea-Bissau has been criticized by the World Health Organization as unethical. The US-funded study has sought to give one set of babies the vaccine at birth, while another will have had the shot delayed until 6 weeks of age. The WHO said it has significant concerns about the plan and described the birth dose vaccine as an effective and essential public health intervention without a proven record. Share the video, invite others to join in, tell us where you're watching from, where you're following from. The OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5 is right here. We're about to take our break. But it is a return to a very new week, you know. It's a return to a very new week. And yeah, let's see some of you now. Tell us where you're watching from. Collie Patrick watching from Italy, Randall Flomo Smith, Bessa Sweli Montari from Freeport, J. Olenyuma Blawine, Elliot from Boulevard Inn, from Johnson City in Tennessee is Louis Honoré, Michael T. Beto as well. I see him, he's following. Daniel Tente is following Christina GC Massacre from Bannersville Estate behind Area F. Prince D. Sire from 1403 Bannersville. Toby S. Daughter. Nathaniel Cole from New Georgia. Gardnersville. Wilmont Toy, Jamaica Road. Stephen Yakade from Cotton Tree, District 2, Lower Margibi County. Amos Matadi, Pinsville. D. Lawrence Wallace from Government Camp, Jade Statutory District, Sino County. Nixon Flomo is following from Logan Town, District 15, where our lawmaker has abandoned his people. Come 2029, new faces will appear in our district. CMC other way. You start campaigning so early. Don't get tired. You start too soon like that. JDS Gay from Germany. From UL Fendel campuses, Michael Iflomo. Gate Harris Gate from Johnsonville, Pellet Town. Clarence Clark from Borough Street, Monrovia. M. Benito K. Manoba, Wanwusu, Dukley Farm Community, that's Broville area. Dauda Jabate from Bummy. Solomon Togba from AME Campus, Camp Johnson Road. That's AMEU. Oh, you say Frank Emery AME Campus. Okay, that's what that is. Manuel Thomas Zah from St. Paul. Disville Communities. Vafi D. Cole. Vinicius Junior Bar from NKT. Emmanuel Goer from Flantown Community, Japan Freeway. Darlington Road, New Georgia, Oldfield. Ojuku K. Battle. Red Light, Painesville. William W. Wulu. Upper Conwell, Monrovia. Achitopo from Dole Community. Okay. Yeah, let's take our break. When we come back after the break, we'll bring you a fact check. After that, we'll talk about the things that matter, and we'll give you the chance to have your say on a whole lot of the issues that we will talk about, you know. Yeah. So, let's go.
Mama, who takes care of development in our country?
We all do, my baby. You see, every time we pay our taxes, we are taking care of our country, Mama Liberia. Taxes help provide clean water, safe communities, and jobs for our people. When you pay your tax, Liberia grows.
Be proud, be responsible. Pay your taxes for a better Liberia. Pay tax, we all enjoy.
I say, Esther, what did the American people mean by overstay that they say some of all that people doing?
Mary, they overstay the American people talking about that for you to stay long after the time you ask her to stay in America and the time the people already not take record for, even when your visa still get long time on it.
Oh, okay. So it means when I tell the American embassy that I'm going for 6 weeks, it should be 6 weeks. It shouldn't pass 6 weeks, even if I get 1 year visa, sir.
Yes. Even if you get 1 year visa or 3 year visa and you going for 6 weeks, that is 6 weeks you must stay for and can't red bago. If you won't go again, they will believe you next time. But if you tell the people say 6 weeks, then you stay for 6 months, they will not trust you next time. Oh, don't let anybody in America fool you. Oh. Even if the immigration in a very America tell you say you must stay for 6 months, don't do it. Oh. Only stay for the time you told the embassy you're going for, so you can't spoil your friend and way to travel to America.
Okay, thank you for making me understand the whole overstay thing the American people talking about. From now on, I will stay for the time I requested for. As soon as the time pass, I come in right by here because I want my country need to be on any overstay list. When they will restrict my country and they traveling to America, half for my family and friends.
Don't stay beyond the time you requested from the U.S. Embassy. Return home after your requested length of stay. Get clean record. More travel chances. A message from the Special Presidential Task Force.
We are brave. We are passionate.
Hey, Tanu, I need cash and there is no ATM around here.
Really? Did you try the EcoBank POS?
POS? I said I need cash. What is it about POS?
Judy, you can get your cash through the POS. All you need to do is to visit any EcoBank Express point or petrol trade gas station and request to use the POS. Guess what? It can also take other bank cards.
Oh, widow, you mean cards from banks overseas too?
Yes, it should just be your Visa card.
Wow, great. So when there is no ATM around me, I will just use the POS to get my money fast. EcoBank has made it too easy, man. EcoBank and innovation that real 5 and 6 so.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Your favorite RLJ Kendeja Resort and Villas is new and improved with top-notch first-class services guaranteed to make you feel pampered and special as our royal guests. Ideally located on the RI Highway, a few minutes drive from the rehab junction, right in front of the Atlantic Ocean, you are assured of a peaceful, serene atmosphere of a home away from home. The ingredients for our Liberian meals are freshly picked from our garden to give you that unforgettable taste of Liberian cuisine. Our villas are designed and equipped to ensure every night spent with us is a memorable one. We are well positioned to host conferences and seminars of all sizes, as well as outdoor events like garden weddings and parties. Book your upcoming events and leave the rest for us to handle with 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can reach us on 0770-533-415 or email us at reservations@kendejaresort.com.lr. Visit our website on www.rljkendejaresort.com.lr. RLJ Kendeja Resort and Villas, for memories worth repeating.
Indeed, make sure you're doing business with RLJ Kendeja Resort, and that's the best place. to be the best place to go for your conferences and everything else you can think about. Let's take our fact check now.
Good day and welcome to the Fact Check segment. This segment debunks disinformation and provides the verified facts of statements made online and on the radio. Following the February 11 election of members to the African Union, Peace and Security Council, several opposition politicians in Liberia claimed that the country failed to secure a seat on the council. Their claims followed a statement from the Liberian government indicating that it had taken a principled decision to step aside to allow the Republic of Benin to contest and assume the relevant West African seat on the AUPSC. Among those making the claim was former Montserrat County District Number 8 Representative Akaras Gray, who claimed that Liberia failed to secure a seat on the African Union Peace and Security Council for a 2-year term. To verify this claim, we reviewed a February 11 press release issued by Liberia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The release stated that Liberia stepped aside to allow the Republic of Benin to contest and assume the seat allocated to the West African region. We also contacted the AU through its senior communication officer, Gama Kara, who provided the list of countries elected to the council and clarified that the PSC elections were conducted based on regional consensus. Elections by regional consensus mean that member states within each AU region agree to advise on which countries will occupy the allocated seats. In such cases, there may not be a competitive vote at the final stage as regions present an agreed slate of candidates. This process can involve prospective candidates withdrawing before the conclusion of the election to allow for consensus. Based on the official statement from Liberia's Foreign Ministry and clarification from the AU, there is no evidence that Liberia failed in a competitive vote. Rather, the available information indicates that the election was conducted by regional consensus and Liberia withdrew from the process before the final slate was presented. Therefore, the claim circulating on social media that Liberia failed to secure a seat on the AU-PSC is misleading. On February 2, Liberian economist Samuel Jackson claimed that 12% of Liberia's workforce is employed in the formal sector. He made this claim on Pram FM in response to President Joseph Boaka's assertion that his government created 70,000 short and medium-term jobs in 2025. To verify this claim, we reviewed the 6th edition of the World Bank's Liberia Economic Update published in September 2025. According to the report, wage employment in Liberia has stagnated at around 20% over the past 2 decades. The report also cites findings from the 2022 National Population and Housing Census, which indicate that 20.9% of the working population is engaged in wage employment. While wage employment and formal sector employment are not always identical measures, they are commonly used as indicators of formal labor market participation. The available data shows that the proportion of workers in wage employment is significantly higher than the 12% figure cited by Jackson. Based on the evidence reviewed, the claim that only 12% of Liberia's workforce is in the formal sector is incorrect and not supported by the most recent available data. This is all we have time for on the Fact Check segment. This segment is part of an MOU between Local Voices Liberia, OKFM, Prom FM, and Care Radio to counter disinformation and help the public make informed decisions. This MOU is funded by the Liberia Media Empowerment Project, implemented by Internews with funding from the European Union. The funder or partner had no say in the editorial decision leading to the production of this Fact Check segment. We will be back on Wednesday with more Fact Check reports to help you know the facts. If you want us to fact check a claim for you, please send us a text to WhatsApp on 0777 556 296 and we will definitely check for you. Also, follow us on Facebook at Local Voices Liberia, X or Twitter at LVL Fact Check, and go to our website www.localvoicesliberia.com. My name is Olivia Bawon. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Welcome back. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. Being a bit under the weather, that's okay. We're trying to try. So, a whole lot of things are happening. A whole lot of things have happened. Well, let's tell you some. So, the government of the Republic of Liberia on Saturday convened a high-level consultation on the future of the United Nations and the election of the next Secretary General on the margins of the 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union. We know that President Boakai last week traveled to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia for this summit, the AU Heads of State Summit. He's returning as about this time. He should be at the airport now, I believe. Returning to Liberia, and of course giving our position on the Security Council. We're very significant players now. I know they did the fact checking about the AU security stuff that Liberia had issued. I think the problem came from a bit of lapse in communication because the government had issued a statement that Liberia was going to bid for that security slot of the African Union. And then the government did not issue another statement to say, oh no, we have withdrawn to give support to Benin until it happened, Benin won, and then people started speculating before they came out of the clarification. So sometimes when you say you're going to do this and you know you will not do it, later on if other decisions are made, it is better to effectively communicate. It is also wrong to speculate without finding out. It's always good to ask, okay, Liberia, you said you're going to bid for this. Why are we seeing another country winning it? Is it that you lost or what happened? Find out first and then, So, yeah. So, like the fact check said, that is that. So, being big players, we have to always try to play in the big league. We also know why the president was there. He issued a statement. We also know why the president was there. An earlier release, they said he visited. He visited a science and technology area. Let's read that to you very quickly. Very, very quickly. So, President Joseph Boakai visited the Addis Ababa Science Museum after being urged. So he was asked by Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and this is what the executive mansion said, that the visit offered the president a first-hand look at exhibits highlighting scientific advancement, technological innovation, and Africa's growing role in research and development. A release notes that the president engaged with displays showcasing modern discoveries and creative solutions designed to address global and continental challenges. It said what the tour reflected, for me, this is my interest in this whole release. The tour reflected Liberia's growing interest in science, education, and innovation as key pillars for national growth and development. The tour reflected Liberia's growing interest. So, our country is interested in the areas of science, education, and innovation. Well, for something to reflect your growing interest, it should show. It should show in how you deal with it in your country. Yeah, the tour was okay, but what should show that Liberia has a growing interest in science, education, and innovation as key pillars of national growth and development will be determined by what we do in the budget. What are we putting behind these kinds of things? Scientific research. How much are we putting behind it? That is what will actually indicate or showcase our growing interest, and not just visiting other people's museum. Visiting is okay. It should inspire us to want to do more, to want to do better. In fact, we have not got to the place to want to do better, to want to do good. So yeah, let's bring it home and let it reflect in what we put behind it, the kinds of efforts that we make to ensure that we are becoming a more innovative, a more scientific society, a more research-oriented society. Until then, this determination of a growing interest is questionable. But we say welcome back to the president, Welcome back. We thank God for a safe travel. The Ministry of Justice has issued a stern warning against the misuse of sirens on Liberian roads, clarifying that no office rank or position automatically entitles anyone to install or operate sirens. We see it a lot. Everywhere you pass, wow, 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 wow. Security lights, sirens. A whole lot of different people use and operate sirens. I don't want to talk about opposite lane. It is almost like a reality for us. It is an unacceptable practice, So we're doing all of these things, and they should not be happening. So the Justice Ministry is warning against it. Now, congratulations to Liberia's Finance and Development Planning Minister Augustine Kpeye Gafuan, who has taken over as chairman of the ECOWAS Convergence Council of Ministers and Central Bank Governors. We say congratulations to him. The last time we had the folks in studio talking about the event that was coming up, Liberia was hosting all these big financial, fiscal people, fiscal monetary people from the sub-region. They were converging Liberia. I believe they should still be here. Oh, yes, ended. So our own finance minister has now taken over as the chairman of the ECOWAS Convergence Council of Ministers and Central Bank Governors. So all the finance ministers, all the central bank governors, their leader for this time is Finance and Development Planning Minister Augustine Gafuan. We are getting there small, The Supreme Court of Liberia has denied a petition for re-argument filed by former Finance Minister Samuel Toy and other previous senior officials seeking immunity from prosecution in an alleged economic crimes case. So you remember, this case is ongoing, and then they cited that they're part of the Security Council, the Security Council of the state, and all of that, and they should be immune from such prosecutions. And the judge said no. It went to the Supreme Court, and they wanted re-argument because they felt that there was an error in the ruling of the Supreme Court. So they wanted re-argument. Supreme Court said no, we're not re-arguing. Let the case go by and continue. So this does not suggest that, this person won or this person lost, or no. It is the fact that let it go back to the lower court and let them try it, let them bring evidence, let everybody defend whatever they did or whatever they did not do. That is what the Supreme Court is saying. That we will not grant that motion for re-argument so that you can assert more of your immunity. All right? So that is that. I also, prior to coming on air, I received this. Okay. Prior to coming on air, I received this. So, as about this time, today's the 16th, right? Yeah. Today is February 16th. So, I received this just as I was coming on air. And it is what is titled, it says, the Honorable Supreme Court of Liberia, of the Republic of Liberia, October 10, blah, blah, blah. Dr. Dube Christopher Nya, Director General, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, petitioner versus the executive branch of the Liberian government, represented by the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, the Solicitor General, and all persons operating under the authority of the Minister, Republic of Liberia, respond a petition for the writ of prohibition. Republic of Liberia to Brigadier General Amos B. Kessler Dixon Sr., Marshal, Supreme Court of Liberia, or his deputy. Moreover, you are hereby commanded to notify the parties in the above entitled cause of action or their legal representatives that the Honorable Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia will give ruling in said cause on the 16th day of February 2026. So the 16th is today at the hour of 3 p.m. So it should be on, and that they are cited to be present for same. And you have you there this notice of assignment. So, yep. So all of them should be meeting there by this time. They should be there for the ruling in that case. Dr. Dube Christian thinks he was wrongfully dismissed as a tenured official. So that case, the government says no. The president was in his right to relieve you of your post. So the Supreme Court will decide. So that decision should be happening. That decision should be happening. So we will hear from our man Watson Riches, if he's there, in terms of what the outcome is as this broadcast goes on. Now, so we, OKFM, are also reporting this. I have two important things to talk about, right? Like I said, so, as usual, we gave you the news, all the different things that are happening. Then we settle down on something to talk about. So, the story says, Liberia Senate Security Chair urges suspension of vehicle licensing outsourcing. The chairman of Liberia Senate Committee on Defense, Security, Intelligence, and Veterans Affairs, Momo Tanukoli Saros, on Monday called for the immediate suspension of the government's decision to outsource vehicle registration and driver licensing, citing governance lapses, revenue risks, and national security vulnerabilities. In a formal statement issued in Monrovia, Senator Momo said the transfer of those functions from the statutorily mandated Ministry of Transport Liberia to Liberia Traffic Management, a foreign-controlled operator, undermines statutory order and weakens oversight of systems tied to public safety, identity management, and law enforcement coordination. The senator said vehicle registration and licensing constitute core sovereign responsibilities because they involve sensitive personal biometric and vehicular data. He warned that externalizing such systems creates accountability gaps and exposes the country to strategic risks at a time when Liberia is facing emerging transnational threats, including cyber-enabled financial crimes and illicit telecommunications activity. According to the committee, recent security assessments indicate growing exploitation of digital infrastructure by international criminal networks operating across West Africa and beyond. Sarah said these trends heighten the danger of placing national identity-linked databases and vehicle movement records outside direct state control. The statement also raised fiscal concerns, saying the concession reportedly allows the operator to retain a disproportionate share of revenues from registration and licensing services, with limited safeguards to protect government income. The committee said the arrangement risks revenue leakage and reduces the state's capacity to reinvest in transport safety, institutional development, and security infrastructure. SARS further cited reports that more than 200 Liberian professionals were displaced following the transfer, calling it a setback or local capacity building in a sensitive sector. While acknowledging the importance of investor confidence, the committee said national security and statutory governance must take precedence. It argued that lawful contracts, strong institutions, and sovereign control over security-linked functions provide a firmer foundation for sustainable investment. The committee called for a comprehensive legislative and security review to examine the legal basis of the transfer, the fiscal terms of the concession, data protection implications, and the broader impact on employment and public trust. It's interesting because we've raised these, we've raised these on this platform. All of these things that have been talked about, we raised them again and again for over a year. We're going to 2 years. We've talked and talked and talked and talked. We've talked about these, but it has placed the country in a position like we do not know what we are doing. One very small country, 2 vehicle registration systems ongoing simultaneously. The foreign one heavily backed by the national police. Strangely enough, revenue is generated by agencies of government to pay the police to buy their uniforms, to fund their operations. But the very same police undermines that by siding with a foreign company whose concession will reduce the revenue intake of government against a very transport ministry that is one of the pillars of government. That picture hasn't looked very ugly to a whole lot of people in power. Has been more than surprising, shocking. It has been so unsightly, so, I don't know the word to use. Like, how did we get here? But we are here. And it is happening, and everybody's just like, where do I go? Where do I not go? This is 2026, for God's sake. We are supposed to be enlightened and sophisticated people, educated, and everything else attached. And we are running a country with a dual vehicle licensing and registration system, both of which do not complement each other, very much antagonistic to each other. But besides that is the putting down of a government entity, just like that. So the Senate said the committee said they should review again and everything else. They're saying the very same things that we said before. I don't get it. These concerns have been raised and raised and raised and raised and raised. For whatever reason we brought ourselves to this level, we have to decide to lift ourselves from it. We have to do what is best to represent ourselves as a country, because it is very ugly to look at. A whole lot of the government entities go to transport ministry. The police and other people, especially the Painesville side, they go to LTM. The police will give you hard time if you have transport ministry documentation. They won't give you hard time if you have LTM. But it's not LTM money that pays them. Yeah? Well, we've always tried to talk. We've always tried to create the consciousness. You all know we brought the documentations. We brought all of the historical issues tied to all of these. However, they were not as it went. Issue number 1 to discuss. All these other ones we talk about were the news. You can have the opportunity to talk about any of them, though. But to talk about, so a video emerged on social media, and then there have been discussions here and there about some group of people, you know, calling themselves National Fula Security of Liberia. And it's been making wave of discussions. Who are these people? Why are they acting in a paramilitary style and all of that? Why are we seeing them and this and that? What is their intent? And so statements have been issued as well. You know, different statements have been issued against, mostly in favor of, and all of that. But the Office of the Fula Governor of Liberia issued a statement says it is concerned about trending social media posts regarding a group referred to as National Fula Security of Liberia with claims that the group is a tribal militia or a terrorist group. These claims are far-fetched, biased, misleading, and only intended to bring the Fula community to public disrepute. The Fula Security of Liberia is a voluntary group established in 2011 and involved with community service for the Muslim community, mainly during the month of Ramadan. Fast month. These individuals ensure that night prayers remain orderly and work closely with the Liberia National Police to ensure that worshippers arrive and leave various mosques peacefully and safely. They have a track record of voluntarily escorting worshippers from the mosque to the point of boarding taxi cabs or kekes. As a law-abiding community which has confidence in the government of Liberia's ability to handle the safety and security of the state, we are shocked by such outrageous claims and urge all those involved in spreading such claims to stop immediately. We reiterate our commitment to the rule of law and our confidence in the national security apparatus to cater to the safety of the state and its people, including the Fula people. We assure the public that the Fula community will always remain peaceful and law-abiding, and that militia and terrorist groupings have not and will not be a part of the Fula community in Liberia. And this is signed by the Secretary of the Office of the Fula Governor of the Republic of Liberia. So, I myself have been asking questions, I've been reading. It has been established that this group of people, they are like, according to why a whole lot of people with knowledge of the matter will say, they are not like actually a militia group. They are like those, like for example, you having a church service. You have some of the members of the church who will wear the security stuff that reflector jacket that have security on it to help, guide the area to carry people in to ensure that they are safety of the vehicles parking around and all of that. According to people's knowledge of the matter, that's how they are. They are usually active around Ramadan time. We know Ramadan will soon be coming up. And so that's what they've been for a very long time now. It is like the way the information came out, the way people bring out information, especially on social media. People seeing whether they were training them or trying to pass on some messages or whatsoever. And so, it came out in such a terrible way, especially with the nomenclature of National Fula Security, blah, blah, blah. This is what I will say. Since the statement from the Fula governor talks about work in line with the national police, I think it will be okay to hear from the security system of the country. They should be aware of the different groupings who are involved in these security-related activities, especially for their people. What I also think is not okay is the hasty, glittering generalizations of an entire group of people. I can understand, especially with different things happening in the sub-region, can understand when people rush to conclusions and express hypersensitivity relative to matters of security. I can understand that. But wars are also powerful, and they could stir up different things. So sometimes I will wish that we should wait on the authorities, and the authorities themselves should be fast enough to say something. Given what I do know, I cannot conclude that they are this or they are not this. I can only say there is no need to panic. There is no need to panic. I do not believe we've reached at a point where people should be referring to a particular group of people as terrorists and all of that. I do not think so. Given the extensive research I have done, I do not think there is reason to panic. I can understand why people will want to panic, but no, I do not believe we're at that point. It is important for us not to scaremonger, because sometimes when we blow it out of proportion, then people start to target a particular group of people thinking that they're this. And at the end of the day, it leads to something else. We understand it's our country. Things spread. The very thick of all things spread so wide and far. So let's take it easy. But most importantly, in order to further allay all of the fears, it is important for whether it's the justice ministry, that's the security system, the national security system of the country, to say something about this, to allay the fears of people. But so far, so good. You know me, you know us. We call it as it is. From what we know so far, there is not a reason to panic. Yeah? Okay. Finally, land issue. Why am I sticking behind land issue? I'm sticking behind it because, according to the president, God is not creating new land. It is true. Unless there is some kind of island under the sea, and then the sea dries, or the water body dries, and the land pops up. But it is the fact that we have land in the country, and land is always owned by somebody. Either it's owned by the government, or it is owned by somebody. But this little period, these few months of outrageous demolition of properties is scaring. No, I'm not talking about the one that government says, that everybody knows is government property or is an alley or what's it. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Today, I'm specifically on land that a private person owns, that other people buy, then other people buy the same land too. Sometimes 3, 4, 5 different groups of people. One person will be claiming 500 acres, 100 acres, 50 acres. Places that people may have bought years and years ago. It is a serious concern because lives are being torn apart, whether for the wrong or right reasons. I've said, if anybody properly builds a house in Liberia, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house, correct house, and they finish it, give them respect. To build in this country is not a joke. It is not. Don't try it. It's not. So people go through all of that hardship and stress over the years. They buy land. They built. They've been living there 5, 10, 15 years. Someone can say they bought the land 2016, 2015, 2017, 2020. 50 acres is for them. Something is not right with that picture. Few things may be happening here. And we cannot shy away. A whole lot of dangerous things are happening. So you could sit today and say, the law is the law. Yeah, property. But you may not know. Now, if a few different things are possible, family A, or let's say Mr. Brown, that's a popular name. Mr. Brown could have this property, 50 acres of land. When Mr. Brown was alive in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever it is, Mr. Brown may have sold some of that land. Mr. Brown may have had children. Mr. Brown may have given portions of the remaining land to some of his children, different ones, and blah, blah, blah. Or Mr. Brown may have given some of the land to his brother or his other relatives and all that. Some of the children may have sold some of their own land around 1990, 2000, whatsoever. That time land was not expensive. People could pay $250 for one lot, $500 for one lot. They are very valued places. Follow my train of argument, right? They could still be holding on to the Model D and all that other stuff. Years later, that very place becomes a place of attraction and the value of land increases. That child, they bought that land from Kukolut. Or since they still have the document of the land, their father sold or whatsoever, they could collude some kind of way. And they don't know anything about whatsoever. Because that place now becomes $5,000 for one lot, $4,000 for a lot, or whatsoever, $3,000. And if he said they still have some kind of documentation, they can manipulate systems in different places. The other person that saw it, they may be out of the picture. They may they don't know. They're somewhere realizing in America or wheresoever. The other family member jump and can't say, they won't get it. I mean, get it. Yeah, the mother did. I mean, get it. Get it. It was not for that, my brother there. Sell it to someone else. So while you think you legitimately bought land, some kind of corrupt dealing could happen. Go to someone in Mercy, they get 50 acres of land. Those things can happen. To put people more into poverty, you struggle. Over time, you build your place. Some may not have those properties, and they may sell it to people. That is true. So the country has to do something about this. Too many people are becoming affected. And when you leave people with no option, there's this story going all around of a Nigerian guy, whosoever he is. He used to have one road building company. I think he was doing that better. He couldn't finish forever and ever. Tony Lawal, whosoever his name is. Just jump up, places are going up. He said for him, buy it. 50 acres. You jump on the other side for him. Come on the other side, it's for him. How? Why? Why? How can we be in a country and it's like that doesn't appear to be a law and other thing if there is not a proper land sale system that is clearly definitive of ownership. Then it is not a rule of law system. Then there is something wrong. So today, no one can be safe. You could do all of your due diligence and do everything else here and there. You blah, blah, blah. You go to archive, you go to land authority, you do all of your different things, and you say you own land. Someone with deeper pockets can come and own your land and say for them. And you'll be left there stunned, and nothing happens to whomever you bought land from. Your life is torn apart. You need to start from zero. And you wonder where all the anger in the country is from. All the suffering people are hurling curses upon the country, because who watches the high-end living go down just like that? You think they will not say something? They will not place bar wars in the air? The country has to wake up to this. If you're in the court system, you're in whatsoever system that will manipulate systems just for a few dollars, and hundreds and thousands of people's lives got torn apart because of the application of your indignity, those things never go free. People cannot continue to suffer and cry, and we shout piously on the sidelines, the law is the law. No, the law was not the law in the first place. It did not help to do what was right. It is terrible. Every day I get these concerns. Something has to be done. People buy land, someone else comes, they do double seal, and because that person has deeper pockets, they will keep a case hanging in court. When someone's supposed to develop the land, they cannot do anything because somebody thinks. Read people's stories that they narrate. It is problematic. If things have to happen like other countries where they have different systems of some countries only government can sell land whatsoever, but something really needs to happen about this. It could lead to something else. If you sold land, you sold a lot for $250, 20, 30, 40 years ago, that's it. Leave it. The person already had it. Not because that place has grown in value now, you want to mango. Because someone wants to pay $5,000 for that lot today, $10,000. Find all kinds of means to manipulate systems. Some of the things that are happening today. I open the lines and hear people's stories. 777-700-995, 555-995, the numbers to call. Some of them, you go after them, ask them who sold the land to you. You cannot say, you cannot get. For example, they say, we don't know who sold the land to Mr. Nangbe. He cannot say. People are living and suffering in pain, and we think it is okay. We clap on the sidelines. It's okay. You know, some of you, I don't know whether you will live refugee life before. You understand what some of us went through. You don't know. I hate to see people suffering because you don't know what it means to be displaced. You don't know what it means not to have a place to sleep. You really have not felt that before. Maybe. 777-700-995, 555-995-995. Let's hear you. Welcome.
Yeah, Julius, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
This is Steve Flampe.
Mm-hmm.
The former Vice President didn't want to say what happened to us is us. We can end the land crisis. Julius, if you bought a land today and you went to ACA to register it, they ask you for a copy of your deed. If you went to probate court, the same thing. They will ask you for a copy of your deed. So where the crookedness come about now is the use of what they call certified copy. The certified copy does not show the diagram. It only gives you the mix and pound. And the lawyer and the surveyor and the land people are all involved. So what I'm proposing to land authority that they need to do, all those that have the family land, let them produce their map. Each land has a surveyor. That map will indicate that Julius Jess sold to Steve Pay, sold to Teresa Brown, sold to Elijah Williams, and it will be indicated on that map. And to do that, they should call for a general survey when they are doing that map. Those who have their deed will come up with their deed and say, no, I bought it from your pa, or I bought it from your mom. But if you continue to use the administrative, the certified copy of the deed, they probably will not end just now. So my solution, land authority need to do another thing. Okay. The surveyor must be given time to report, even if they conduct a survey. Sometimes they conduct survey and they don't give their report, and no authority cares. That's the problem we have.
Okay. Thanks so kindly, sir. And let me say this to those of you who think you have money, so you can just go, you manipulate people to buy land. I know people already own, but because you think you get money, so you can go buy it. Because you get money, you can use your money on people. You own it. It will not end well for you. Yeah, it will not end well. People's tears. You may think you're enjoying today. You beat ball, you beat girl, you beat person, and blah blah blah. So you can step on people. It will not end well. It cannot end well. People's tears will be upon you and your generation. I'm telling you. You know? It will not end well. I guess people can see someone say, oh, the president owned this one before this person had it. Nobody there. They land, all that stuff they were fighting for all over the place. Nobody taking care of it. It is lying in ruins. That is how it will end for a whole lot of you. Yes, I'm talking. How it will end. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius. When Gibson, I call from Paris.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Julius, I want to talk to two things quickly. The fact checker, the first time President Braga came to power, the fact check when he lied on an issue, and said that time they have stopped fact checking the president. I don't know why. So are they done compromise now? The fact checker, they can pick and choose who to check now, who not to check. But they have stopped checking President Braga. He had lied at that time. Who they can fact check it. Now, on the issue of the land sale, Julius, Mo Ali said the lawyers, the judges are corrupt. That's why these things are happening. Because if I said land to Julius for $10, and I sold that land to another person for $50, and I take that same deed I came to the probate court, the judge there, they will sign out this template again to me to make it valid. That's corruption. So this corruption is in the court for the Chief Justice, the entire Chief Justice, those Joe Justices and the Chief Justice, they are all corrupt to the letter, including the Chief Justice. It is not about time that we go on international platform to tell the world that the Liberian Chief Justice and the entire justice system are corrupt. They are corrupt to the extent that they stamp those deals, they probate those deals, and sign it in the probate court. That's a corruption there, Julius. So the entire justice system, including the Chief Justice of the Republic of Bureau, they are all corrupt. They are corrupt to the letter.
Okay.
Those people, they go there stealing. The Chief Justice and the entire justice system, all other lower judges, they steal people.
Why are you pressing on the Chief Justice?
Those people, they are lost because those people are all the same.
Okay, thanks.
Chief Justice that went and defied for all the virus, and when he corner himself, he gets the same opinion on the same virus. That's corruption. The Chief Justice is correct.
Thanks so kindly. Thanks so kindly,
yeah.
Frank Gibson. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Kaba calling from Ghana.
Yeah, I read it. You won't hear from some people that get some of these land problems. You know.
Okay. We were expected from where they explained from Iron Poly talking city, Abaja,
Wow.
When he came our land that was known for him.
Who?
On a serious note.
The Tony Lawa man.
That's exactly so, Julius. We had two lads there. Unfortunately for us, Lawa came in. He threatened us. He threatened my brother. He said, if you go to our land, I will kill you. You don't believe it, Julius. At the end of the day, we lost our land to Lawa. We couldn't get no real because he get deep pocket. Because the pocket is deep. We couldn't go near it there. At the end of the day, we lost our land.
When your body land?
My grandfather bought land in 1971.
Oh, that way by land elemental.
Way by land, Julius. They made came out 2 lots. At the end of the day, we lost our land. We even paid to kill my brother said by the end of the day, we let it because we don't have deep pockets. We don't have nobody to fight for us. They kill the entire go to the place that play says in Canada in that game, rock they say they're personal. The play stays and clean the entire place, Julius. We were affected. Nothing else we could do. We just saw a better place. Can you imagine that, Julius? This is my very first time calling your show. Yeah, we're a better struggle. So the main thing that Julius, the regular say, it means sure attention. And that will go. And I did your year, the next money year, just starting for land based in the bureau because it will be sure. If you stay high in money, he did it hot, and they did it kind of take it for you, Julius. It's painful. So go down and step in, seriously, Julius.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Let's see who's right here. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Brother Judah. This is Edwin G.V. Kane, Papa New Chigwin, calling for the Chigwin farm.
Go ahead.
Brother Judah, this story of this land is a serious issue. If some of us will even have the time to sit down in studio and explain some things concerning this town bomb that we are sitting on, we will get to understand why it is. As I speak to you right now, I bought my land 2006 in Broadway. I probably my deed 2008 and put it in the ACA. Signed by George Sando. He died now. He was a judge. He did all of my work. He's my uncle. Today, from 2006, one Mr. Cole is coming to claim 30 acres of land here.
Oh?
Yeah. That he's brought a document that he had won a case against 4 persons in our community. And the court are giving order to evict that 4 persons, the rest of the people. He can work with them whether to carry in the court and all the kind of thing. We sat down with that man, Brother Julius, and we told him there is no need for court. Because the court process, only the lawyer and the judge is the beneficiary. You will lose, we will lose, and we'll take the next 50 years before maybe we'll get there. So we want to rebuy the land. That make him appraise our land. Like me, I got one acre here. He telling me to pay $4,500 US, which I accepted in 1 year, 6 months. Because we're looking at what is happening around the country. We don't want to go into all of these things. Then he coming back and saying he want to appraise my houses, my property, for me to pay for it on the land. Which the community, which I am a leader now for that community, we said no, that can't happen. He said, okay, then he will come back on the scene of the property to see how we can say they pay their money, but then other people should add our money. But this is a serious problem. I work with the Community Watch Forum where all men were living here. All men told us to be very careful with land crisis and the disadvantaged youth. They may likely bring the reoccurrence of war into our country because our land laws are not good. That is what we are in right now.
So why is the person you put body land from?
There's man robber, the lily from Fair Hidden Temple. They and the lily were in court. But because the lily died now, so they came. The lily died, man robber died.
Okay.
Yeah. They man robber, they being in court. But then, according to the Supreme Court ruling, they said because nobody appeared from the other side, so they gave the case to him. Now that he fought May Robert and he won, May Robert died. May Robert from Philly, he didn't tap. I think everybody knows May Robert in the country is a renowned person. From the Barclay, she died now. She's the one signed all of our deeds. She the one sold it. They the one sold the place to all the churches right there. But because she died now, so he came. And then we now want to go through all of these we said, let us settle this thing.
So all that time she was alive, he never won the case, nothing.
No, he never won the case. Even the 4 person they get the ruling again. The reason they get the ruling again, they say because the 4 person never appear in court and they were served notice. Now that they went in court and they win it. So now that means every day to that thing, I will bring yellow machine, I will bring boulders. But for me, as a leader of this community, standing to fight for the people and work along, I told him, I said we can, every charge we will get because the thing is that Supreme Court have already ruled against 4 person, not all of us. In fact, you can't even find your 30 acre land. We see all that one, but we won't go through all that. Because what process by the Judah in Labrador, only the lawyer and the judge will benefit. You that complain that will suffer. You that complain, you will suffer. Whether you win, in the land cases, there will be 40, 30, maybe we will die, our children will come, you bring both those and bust our property on our children. So we don't want that. We want to negotiate with you. and let us buy it. Then you charge me $4,500 for a land I bought 2006, 800. I bought a land $800 US. Now you charging me 2,500. I mean 4,500. I accept it. Then you still want to come and bring other burden because you want to come and damage my play. We will not sit here for that. But thank God his lawyers and other people are advising that we should work along with that. But that's not only here. All over these things are happening.
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
Import River, the same thing. One they can't claim the whole place, 100 acre. Import River. So why we the citizens, where are we going? What is happening to us? That somebody was set in America for 70, 60 years, and people develop. Can they come up under the kind of condition? Who will be now? Everybody afraid now to buy a bill. So like that, the country will just be forest. People sitting in America, they leave the forest here, and nobody want to build there because when they finish building, somebody will come and bring yellow machine and damage it. So the bro is just a dump site. There will be no development. Let the government come in quickly. I am doing a letter to the speaker to put on the floor. I am doing a letter to the Senate President to put on the floor. And I will see copy the president. And I will make sure I put that letter in all the delays. Let the president, let the country work up quickly to stop the war that is reoccurring. This is a really serious crisis in this country.
Okay.
There's no one for the people sleeping on the street.
Thanks so kindly for your call, sir. Wow. It is good to allow people to have their say. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hello.
Hey, Julius.
Yeah.
Yo, this Leo Pio Swart. I'm calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA.
Okay.
Look, this land issue you're discussing about, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of issues in Liberia that need to be handled. Currently, as I speak to you right now, I bought a land since 2012, 2013, right? And people, can you imagine people building in the middle of my 1 acre on the Ralphie Highway? And who sold the land to the people? The same children of the parents, or parents of the children, I don't know how to place it, are the one who will go behind you and sell your property to people.
Wow.
And right now, before the people put the first stone on the first stone on the ground, I went to the people, I talked to them that they should leave my land. The people are very adamant, they build a house on the land and blah, 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 right? And this woman who bought the land in the United States with me, but I've not been having the opportunity to talk to her, but I found out she in the US. And she passed through one pastor. Now in court, right? I in court. I go to the land. Tomorrow, if I win my case, tomorrow people will say I'm being adamant, I'm being wicked, I'm not being
no, your case is different, and this is why I have issues. I have issue with the double sale. People should not be doing that. You sell land, they sell land to you, then they go and sell the land to other people, then they will go and sell it to other people. Is where I have the problem.
Yeah, it's a problem, but so sometimes when you meet the people who buy the land, the new people, when you're telling them, they don't listen.
Yeah, that is another angle. You're right. You're right. Okay. Okay. Thanks so kindly. That's another thing. Do not buy controversial land. You know. Welcome. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Julius. This is Sam Jackson. Look, the land business is the foundation of capitalism, right? The land is what creates wealth. The land is what produces income. The land is what does everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
The system we have, where it is possible for the same government to register the same land in the names of multiple people, is antiquated. And it's not only corruption, it's just a lack of system. Look, there is something that exists in the world today, in the 60 years ago, a cadastral system, where every single piece of plot of land has GPS coordinates, and you can put that into a computer system. They're just working on it now. They're just working on it now. 178 years after the birth of the nation, they're just working on a cadastral system. So you were right. What you were saying, Julius, the government is the one to blame, because it's the government that registers the deed to multiple people. The same government, if you go to the land registry, you will see the same plot of land registered to multiple people. And that's what the problem is. You know, we have to start from the very beginning, because if not, this is going to be, in fact, it is the number one cause of poverty in the country, the fact that the land cannot be proper land tenure is the number one problem, and then you cannot use the land as a collateral to get money and advance your own economic interests. So that's what I wanted to say, Julius. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay, thanks so kindly, sir. Sincerely, I appreciate it.
Welcome, bye-bye.
Okay, as Sam Jackson, right there. Let's hear from you. You have experience in these things. It's important. Let's go on the international line. Let's see who's right here. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hi, Julius. My name is Godson. Godson Gifler from Minneapolis. How you doing?
Go ahead, Godson.
Yeah, like everybody is saying, Julius, the issue of land crisis is an existential threat that the country is faced with. And one of the most victimized people are we diaspora Liberians. There is hardly a Liberian in the diaspora that you talk to that's not facing this issue. Personally, Julius, on the Marshall Highway, I have like 4 acres of land, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the land, it's somewhere around 2016, getting ready to go into construction work and other thing. The land was claimed by the wife of former President Taylor, I think Victoria Taylor, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Nigerian lady he got married to. So the family still will assign you and one of you. Not one thing, other thing.
So wait, Godson. That is the family admitted that they sold the land to her and also sold it to you.
Oh yes. And you know, so this that there was no strict explanation. So the only thing that like we're going to give you another place, and usually when they're relocating you, it comes at an expense to you also. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
After paying almost $5,000 for that, land, you have to go ahead again, and a lot, you have to go ahead again and pay some other money to facilitate the relocation process. But yeah, it's a hurtful part, Julius. Even the land that they relocated me on, I went and built the warehouse, and my cornerstone, the warehouse is on our land. But it's getting ready to start construction in 2022, and I started having some health challenges and other issues, so I decided to put it back. By the time I recovered, getting ready to go do the land, somebody saw my warehouse on the land, Julius, and started constructing on it.
Wow.
While my cornerstone is still there, they tried to break it down. They couldn't because the way the cornerstone was built. Now they are constructing on the land. The people who sold the land, person they said is there, the chairman cannot account. My understanding is that the person who is doing that construction also lives in the United States. My family there and the family there, they try to work with everybody to see how we can find who has the property on our land. There's no resolution.
This is so sad.
That thing last on land that right around the era of former Minister of State Maggie Berry's mother. Same thing. They're telling me they want to relocate me to Charlesville. It's been almost 1 year. We can't even have that relocation decision. So in that kind of case, what will you even think about, investing in land or building home or other things again? So
wow.
It's just troubling, Julius. It's really, really troubling.
This is sad.
It's a hard times for some of us. Because that's the only thing at the end of the day we have to show when we live here. We want to come back home and be able to settle down and say, this is what I did here. So
yeah, man. It's wow.
It's really tough.
It's really sad. I hear these stories, folks, and these are some of the most important things to talk about, folks. Let's take Deputy Minister Cooper Frederick. Welcome.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you for taking my call on your private number. I'm listening to people, and I think the issue of land business is a serious problem that we are faced with in the country. I can attest to my current, case, and I think the land authority has to actually get, land cases going to it, because for my case, it has lasted now for over 10 years until somebody has to tell me you have to get the case off the Painesville Town Hall and take it to the land authority. The land authority will now commission an investigative survey to ensure who is the actual, owner of that property. Now the survey was done somewhere around October of last year. To have that similar report coming out of the land authority is an issue, and that report has to come to from the land authority to the court, and the lower court has to call both parties and hear their side and rule that the report coming from the land authority. And if either of the parties don't, accept that, then it goes to the Supreme Court for ruling. The case has almost been 10 years since 2016. It just tells you, that the whole issue around, land conflict, it needs undisputed adjudication.
Because the truth is, land is important for everybody. Everybody wants to build a home. They want to have a business somewhere, and all of that. And land, you can build in the air.
You can, and the only way this issue can be can be actually resolved is, people selling land to more than 2-3 person as the actual owner, and now with the coming into being of the land authority, most of the cases now going, the sense they are not going into the other court. Most of the cases now going to the land authority for investigative survey. They have to ensure that those processes with the investigative survey are done speedily, so that report gets to the court, and the court has to make a decision. If either of the parties cannot agree, it go to the Supreme Court, where the final, decision around that case can be made.
Thanks so kindly for your call. We hope the authorities are listening to Liberians having their Celeste engineer, Delano Bryant. Delano, welcome.
Oh, Judah, thank you. Judah, I'm going to give you 3 reasons that will continue to have land matter in this country. The first one is that many landowners that have property that's selling land, they will tell you they got 20 acres. They will sell within the 20 acres and they stay at the mother deed of the 20 acres.
That's the same thing I was saying earlier.
No matter what they need to do, or you have a 20 acres, that 20 acres should develop into a farm. But every time you go and sell within the 20 acres, you issue a deed to somebody, that mother deed, the person had that mother deed that reflect that within the 20 acres, you have sold less than 10 acres. There should be a new deed issued to that person, meaning that person does not have 20 acres, no longer have 20 acres in that property within that area. But the person still carry the 20 acres deed. They still carry the 20 acres deed. Let's agree. After some time, that person has passed. The children come back and call for resolving. That's where the problem can come from. Some of the family will come and call for resolving. Some people within the 20 acres, more people don't know when you buy a land, the first thing you need to do, you need to probate the deed. If that deed is not probated, even if you bought a land 10 years ago, I buy it yesterday, I probated, government will give you the property over you. Many persons have not probated that deed. So if you buy a property and that property is not being probated, that property is not for you, you can pay mansion on it. If Federal Cooper came bought that land just last year, when they go to court, the court will give Federal Cooper the property, because Federal Cooper is the one the government knows that pay for that property and pay tax on the property. Those are the major issue we have. So more boys come back calling for resolving today, that a new strategy they calling for resolving. Some people live with Julius. There's something called I can entrust my property. I get Julius an administrative right to entrust my property, not to sell my property. Julius is administering my property. Behind me, Julius Joy went and sold the property to Kopo, Federal Kopo. After I realized I come back over and resolve everything Federal Kopo did as administrator. No involved. Then everybody that bought from Federal Kopo, forget about it. Then they say, okay, my property for me. And that's why I'm telling you, I'm going to be victimized today. So now this problem comes from right within land authority. I have issues. I do construction for people. Many of my clients, we go for to settle land matter. Some people within land authority, they take side. And the first the race, you see, this why would one surveyor, 3 different surveyors for the sea land authority can survey on the sea land, the land get confusion. They see something. So you pay them to do due diligence. We pay them to do diligence. So there's something you call due diligence. When they go to this, oh yeah, the land is good standing, pay for it. The authorized, so the survey have been authorized. Means that surveyor has done everything possible. So unfortunately for us, it's not happening, Julius. That's why you see today we're still having a land problem. The land problem will not solve, I'll be honest with you. Like the Samuel Johnson said, it's very simple, Julius. Coordinate all the properties have been sold. We issue deed to the people that say having 100 acres. Who is there having 100 acres in Monrovia right now? Somebody got there get 50 acres. Supposed to having 100 acres.
How you get 100 acres in Monrovia? Thanks so kindly. Wow. This is deep, right? So it was important for us to talk about. Let me read a few messages. I guess it's already in studio. My man Robert Clark says, I bought a piece of land from the Rock Church, and the very church double-crossed me. And so part of the land to multiple people. Right now, I am in court to reclaim my land. This is sad. Wow. Amen. Uh, okay, folks. Sorry. Our guest is already here. We'll see. Maybe we can take it from another angle tomorrow. Maybe I will see if I can bring in someone who knows about this land thing to also give us some idea what's happening. We'll continue to talk about it. We will wake the authorities up. They will do something. Yeah, we can just continue in this cycle. It's not okay. We have with us, for the first time since she left office in 2024, January, I believe, Madam Ruth Coker Collins. Welcome, Madam.
Thank you, Julia.
Jab in the mic down small so that you don't have to be stretching. How is life going? What are you doing these days?
Oh, yes. Let me first of all greet you and your management. And I want to say a very big thank you to you for the opportunity you gave us to speak to the Liberian people. I want to say thank you. And I want to say good afternoon to our Liberian people, those that are listening to us right now and those that are in the diaspora that are following your show now. So we're in the private sector. We're doing our thing as usual because we came from private sector before we went to government. So we're going right back to what we were doing, and we enjoy doing it.
Yeah, give us a little background about you. Who were you before you became Minister of Public Works?
So actually, I'm a business person. I run a company called Tabitha. At the time, it was Tabitha Renaissance Engineering and Design. And I was into construction business. And we were doing some contracts for both government and the NGO, the private sector. And that's what we were doing. And by the grace of God, we got spotted because our last work we did was with the pipeline road. We were one of the contractors that did the drainage. The curb on the pipeline road. I was in the private sector. I had a contract to do it. That was the last place I worked before I came to government. So I'm a business person and had my own company. I've been the CEO for my company. Now the company name is Tabitha Renaissance Group of Companies because we are involved in so many things. Besides the construction, we are into farming. We do wholesale. We sell, like we bring in tires, commodity, basic building materials things. We bring it in the country, then we sell it to our customers.
Okay, let's go to your time at Public Works. Give us an idea. What was the Ministry of Public Works you took over? In fact, how did you get spotted? How did the president appoint you? You were a business person. You were into construction and all that. How did he appoint you?
And the first thing I would say, God is great, because I just can't explain how I found myself to where I was at the time because I want to give a big thank to my mother. Person is a passionate person. When he sees somebody, he take to them. So there was a building that got burned on the Oro Chubot, and then my mother, she's the current superintendent for the Oro market.
Okay.
And then she had been, fighting hard to get those in leadership to help to rebuild the Oro market. So when she heard personally where I was going, Chubor, and she ran after him, and she started to narrate her story. And she actually, she was very close to President we our late mother. So when she started to narrate her story, he got attached, and then he told Pepsi Yeke to get her closer. And then she told her the market was, it was in a very bad condition, and she needed help to rebuild the market. In fact, the proprietor for the market was selling it. So she came and told me the story, and then she gave my number. So in that process, I got contacted by Pepsi Yeke, and then I managed to form part of the market dedication to meet the president at the foreign ministry.
Okay.
And then when we got to the foreign ministry, the marketeer, they spoke all the cool. And then the president said, but you're quiet, why are you not speaking? And that was the golden opportunity I had to pitch myself. And then I told the president that indeed I'm an engineer. that I worked for the UN, because I worked for the UN for almost 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes, both local staff and international staff.
International where?
I was in Timor-Leste. I served 5 years there. Yeah. Timor-Leste.
Sometimes they call it East Timor.
East Timor, yeah.
Mhm.
So while there, I told the president he was interesting because I think he has something that he actually wanted to promote female in the engineering sector or in the public works. So he took my details, I gave him mine, and then once a while I would chip in. And there was an issue that came up with deputy minister, and then he couldn't identify my number with all of the numbers he had.
Mhm.
And that's why I was saying, I said, God is great, because I was working for Mr. Yupoti, and Mr. Yupoti was in that meeting. And then the president was thinking about me, how to get in touch.
Okay.
And right there, Mr. Yupoti was able to say, yeah, but probably I know her. She's a contractor. She's working right now in the pipeline road. And then I got called, and I was like, I never worked in government before. And, I had that kind of fear in me. Yeah, like, they said, but you say engineer, you say, going as deputy president. You said, cool, you will serve, because it's not only you alone. You have your assistant minister, you have engineers. That's a very good experience. And how we started the joining. And by the grace of God, may his soul rest in peace. Mr. Maputo, he actually really worked on me. I worked with him for less than a month when he fell ill. And I was still new, because the opportunity was, there's a cycle, the organizational structure for the public works. The deputy minister for technical services, if in case of anything with the minister, the deputy minister for technical services should be in line.
Mhm.
But then I was new, I was afraid, and then Minister Todd served for one week, and then later on they saw the need that I should serve. I acted. I think you were just here. You saw I acted for so long, and by the grace of God, we exceeded to the position. We excelled to the position, and then we did what we could do by the grace of God. With the support of our deputy ministers, our assistant ministers, our directors, project engineers, our development partners, our stakeholders. They actually work closely with us to push us to where we went. And I'm actually very proud of my achievement at the Ministry of Public Works.
Let's talk about those achievements. Let me give you time to tell us the signature, the very key ones first, the signature achievements that you people made there.
So I'm actually happy that you gave us that long time. We'll talk briefly. We may not be able to cover everything because we did a lot. We'll talk about the basic ones. I want to start with the African Development Bank projects.
Okay.
Sorry, let me just flip through my page. So we'll start with the African Development Bank project. We work in River G. There was a lot of work done while we were serving as minister.
This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us former Public Works Minister Ruth Coker Collins. We'll come to all of the allegations and different things. We are setting the basis for her to tell us exactly what they did.
Do I have one? There was allegation.
Yeah, there are allegations. So I leave that way. We'll come to them. But let's get the basis of what.
Okay, so with the African Development Bank, we will start from the Mano River Union Development and Transport Facilitation Program. Their first lap pavement from Fishtown to Kalipo. We did that work, and before we left, our contract was signed August 3rd, 2021.
August 3, 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
And the contractor is Chico. So our expected time, to have closed the project was in 2022. But, sometimes our partners, they have their own way of payment. Sometimes we have some delays. But before we left, up to December 2024.
That is 2023.
2023, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
For clearing and grubbling of the road, the entire road corridor, it was 100%. We have cleared everything. Yeah, I mean, all the vegetation, everything, we have cleared everything. And we have also the covert installations. We install all of the coverts. The engineering compound, it was at 98%. And the bridges that we're building, it was at 80%. You know, we have more than 8 different bridges, different bridges. But it was at 80%. And then the subgrade, you know, where the lateral and all of the formation of the earthwork before the people can start, it was at 100%. So the base course was at 69.5%. So I just tried to explain it. I hope you understanding it because because there was a percentage for which we left it, and I think your fact finders can actually find out. So on the overall, we left that project at 68.84% when we left the government. I mean the Fishtown to Kelipo project.
Okay.
So then we go to the scene African Development Bank, the Mano River Union Road Development, that the program. Phase 2 of it was from Kelipo to Fishtown on the same, because we all targeting Sredu. Okay. So the one from the back, that's what I'm talking about. So it was 80 kilometers. Okay, I didn't talk about the one, it was 20 kilometers.
Okay.
So this one is 80 kilometers from Kelipo to Fishtown. Kalipo to Kaloken, sorry.
Okay, Kaloken.
Kaloken to Fishtown, sorry. Okay. So when we left, the clearing, the grubbling, it was 100%. The cover installation was 100%. The engineering compound, the engineers compound were 100%. The bridges were at 97%. And then the subgrade was at 100%. The base coal, the banner coal, all of them were at 100%. The wearing coals were at 66%. The installation of the galvanized metal rail, the guide rail for the bridges, all of those ones was at 99%. And the project overall progress was at 92% when we left the Ministry of Public Works. So to give some details, because I'm saying this 1% about the about this one, from the pavement from Sanikole to Lokwatuo.
Yes, from Sanikole to Lokwatuo.
It is 47.1 kilometers.
Okay.
And that project started, it was signed. The consultant is actually, the contractor is CRSG, and the project commenced November 2nd, 2020. So we, at the time, the clearing and the grubbling was completed 100%. The covert installations were completed 100%. Engineering compound were completed 100%. So we had 8 different bridges on that same road.
Yeah.
So the first bridge was at 68.2% when we left it. The second bridge was at 51.0% when we left it. The third bridge was at 61.2%. The fourth bridge was 71.0%. The fifth was 67.2%. The sixth was 56.1%. The seventh was 51.0%. And the last one we have just started, so we were 0.8% when we left government. So the overall progress, we did the embankment construction. It was at 87.7%. The subgrade was at around 56.9%. The custom base was around 50%. The barnacles were around 49.5%, and the wearing coals was at 47.6%. So the overall progress we left that work was at 70% when we left.
I think it is still at that level.
I have not traveled on that road.
Yeah, I have been there over and over. I think there is some kind of stopping of that project. It hasn't continued. There were reports of some group complaining. I think the company also that is doing the work there also.
Okay, so but actually when I left government,
because I know I have traveled to Logo 2 or 3 times since you left.
Okay.
Power. I see where the bridges stop at where the roads, the pavement doesn't continue. They have to bypass the bridges that are being built and all that.
Yeah, it was that percent. We left it at 70%.
So I can attest to that one because I've seen it.
Okay, great. So we will flip a little bit to go to the World Bank projects. We'll go to the World Bank project. And the World Bank project, before we got there as the CDC government, there was 2 projects that was ongoing. We had the Libran one. The Libran is the Liberian Road Asset Management Project. That was the first lot was the one from Banga, the one that going to Banga, right? From Raleigh to Banga. That was the first lot. It was done under the party leg. The reason why I'm going to talk about it because I want to speak keenly about the continuity because they finished it. 2023 it was 2020 it was ongoing. Almost we had some minor things to do about it. The lot 2 was from Banka to Ganta. That was the second lot. So the project did not finish completely, right? We had some other things to do, like some places there we had to do maintenance. We had to, because the bank still had to do that. So we were continuing with it. So then again, it came in another lot from the Cocoa factory to Iyadari Junction. That was 6.1 kilometer, and we actually started that December 27, 2018. We started that one, and it was when we were leaving, it was at 93.8%. Because we had to do the roundabout, and there was some hitch up because the bank actually has an issue the way we went in and the red light to because the marketeers they kept they couldn't get a chance, so we went a little bit and then we said, oh, you gotta give a chance. So the bank has an issue and we are going back and forth with the project. So it was at 97, it was at 93.8% when we left it, just 7 to have it completed. So the roundabout, I don't know whether it was actually dedicated because it was almost finished, and in my mind it's not finished yet because the plan and program we got for it is still Austin. I see some artificial stuff there. That was not the plan and idea.
That's what was the plan?
To have to give the our visitors, our partners, those that will be coming in the country, to give them, to make them to believe that it's a green country. We are green because we wanted to go natural natural grass and all of those ones. But I see something like carpet, So it's still not finished yet. I can see in my mind. Maybe when we'll kind of talk about that. Okay. So we have the Southeastern Road Asset Management, which is a SECRAM. The government took that bold step. That was the issue where the bank is saying, okay, this road you want to do it, you have to take the first giant step, which is the 39 kilometer from Ganta to Sakepi. And then the government...
the World Bank.
The government, our government, that was the government first project. The government, because the World Bank is looking at us. We want to pave the road from Ganta to Sredu. So the bank said to know that you are really, serious about what you're saying, take the first giant step.
Okay.
And then our government took the first giant step and they started the first SECRAM project, which was 39 kilometers. And we started, that project was around $32.752 million project. And it was 39 kilometers. And then we worked, and the work started, and the work was actually ongoing, and we left it at sorry, let me see what the percentage is, but we started working on it, and we went so far with it, and I think it's still ongoing because
yes, it is. At one point during your administration, it kind of stalled. Because I think there were some financial issues.
Exactly, because it was being financed by the GOL through the road fund, and we had so much to do with the issue of road, so we were kind of very much in tackle with where to go. So it was around 15.21% when we left it.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Yeah.
Because it didn't go very far.
Yeah, it didn't go very far.
It went out of Ganta and then there's a break around that bridge, and then it picks up from there. It went and then it stopped And then there's another breakage in between, and it went a little bit further, and that was where it stopped because I was traveling along that line.
Exactly. So don't break you saw there. There's some critical sections that we needed to do a lot of work. So when you see that place like that, you leave it and jump to the next place. But it was just not too long. It was not too far when we actually left it. So we actually go to the retrapped, the one that take us from Tapeta to Totan. That one was signed. It was signed September. Sorry, it was signed August 2023.
You mean the
Tapeta to Totan?
The contract.
The contract was signed.
The financial value of it?
The financial value was 32. Sorry, it was $32,750,000.
You signed it.
Yeah.
Your government. That means the money was secured.
The money is secured. Yeah, we signed that contract.
Okay.
So we signed that contract. The contractor got started, and then the work was actually ongoing when we left. Let me grab the percentage of which we went before we left. So let me be talking. So we signed that, and the work commenced. Out of the F work was ongoing, and it was the actual expected time to complete that work. It was in September 2026. That was what we projected to have finished the work. The contractor was mobilized. The campsite was built, and all of the formation about that road work had just started when we left. So we go to Ganta to Saninkole. Ganta to Saninkole, the contractor for the retrap, the first retrap was CRCO, C-R-C-O. And Ganta to Saninkole, the contractor is CSE, and that road was funded by ArcelorMittal itself.
Okay.
And the work for that contract, it was 37 kilometers. The work for that contract was $47,885,000. That contract was signed. It was signed 2021. Sorry, July 21st, 2015. The contract was signed.
Okay. By the previous administration to your administration.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there was some issue, but we completed it at 100%. Even though we did not do the dedication before leaving, but it was completed 100% when we left the government.
Did you, apart from the signing by the UP government then, did you meet work started?
So,
the Ganta to Saninkole.
Let me just do a little research because it was an inherited contract during my training because, I did not start fully with them. But when I started, it was work in progress, when I got started with it.
Okay. Yeah, so we can move to the next one.
Yes, sure. So I just want to be cleared with what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, so the next one is Ganta. Okay, it's Banka to Salaye. That contract was done by Chico, and is 81 kilometer. That is being funded by Badia, the Arab funding. The Arab.
That is Banka to
Salaye.
Okay.
Banka to Salaye, it was being funded by our Arab donor partners. And the work for that project, it was 81 kilometers, and the cost was $47,937,433 for the ASIN. The work started June 1st, 2018, and we were projecting that.
You can please speak a little louder so people get you. Or you bring them.
So the work it was signed June 1st, 2018, and the expected time to finish what we projected was July 31st, 2023. The total progress we left the work before we left, it was at around 91.94%. That's where we left it, and the total kilometer we did 67 kilometers out of 81 kilometers.
Okay. It said does that project include going up to Voingerman to the Sierra Leonean border?
No. So we started this negotiation from Salaye to Konya.
Okay.
Yeah. So the donor partners, they were still available. We had to travel to them to have some agreement because they actually financing the entire road. They and GOL. GOL part they kind of play is to pay the RAP payment along the line. So GOL is always along those projects. So that project it was another 1.94%. So the negotiation from Salaye to Konya was ongoing when we left.
Okay, but you talked about the targeted finish date who have been in 2023. Why didn't you finish?
So the finance were not coming from us. So like I said, it's a donor partner project. So sometimes our counterpart, partners, they got their own delay in doing these things. So it was just at 91.9% when we left. I actually hope that I had all the money to finish it before I left government, but it was passing through a means and we could not, control the means of which it was coming. So there was some delay in the payment and we paved 67 kilometer out of the 91 kilometer.
Okay, so those were the major projects your government embarked upon, mostly some not finished and all of that. Now, bring us to what other projects did you do as a government in terms of road pavement, road works and all that?
So, like I said, we'll come back to the African Development Bank projects, and we still have few to talk about.
Okay.
But let me come back to our community road. There were a lot of community road done under our government because we saw that there was a need. So we did Tusafi U-curve.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2.6 kilometers.
You just speak to the microphone.
We actually did the Tusafi, the U-curve. It was 2.6 kilometers. And we did the section of the Corwell Dixville Road. It was 2.3 kilometers and it was completed. The section of the Corwell, the EAW Rehab Community Road, it was 5 kilometers and it was also done. And we did the Chubal, the Buchanan.
That is O
Road. The Buchanan Fairground, the Rehab Community, and the St. Michael Town Hall, Patient Shop Road, the Doison Saint Beach, Surface Road, Soul Clinic, Peace Island Community 540, the Weaver Street, the Bonjai Community was 4.7 kilometers, the ELW R2 Community, the VOA, Manitema Road, Copper Farm Road, Morris Farm. The Banjo community, it was actually 3 kilometers, but we did 2.5.
Okay.
I have to be clear here. The Nickleton, we got started. It was 2.7. We did not go so far. It was just at 0.1%, 0.1 kilometer we paved when we left it. So we got an ELW community extension. We got the Keyhole community was 1.2 was completed. The Kissy Camp community, the Marshall project was also completed. The Copper Farm rehabbed, and the Didion Case Corner School was also done. The Prepland Road. I will talk about the Kakatown City Street because it was projected, but it was not done. Nothing was done there. We got the Chucky Taylor Road. It was also done. We got the Focal Mission. We got Lockington Broad Street, Dryers Market, 11.5.
That is Dryers Market to Johnsonville,
Market, yes. 11.5. We did 11.1. I think the 0.4 was something that was left to be done. Johnsonville, Marcoffet Road, it was 11.5. We did only 1.5. The Door Community, 2.7. The 14 Military Hospital was 1.8, and we did that. And the Riverview Community was 1.5. The 12 Horses Bypass Road was 2.0. 24th Street Community Road, Beachside, was 0.1. The Weaver Street, 0.8. Carfee Road, 0.8. Benson Hospital Road,
Kinkisito
Road, red light. It was also done. The Douala Road opposite Iyedere Hospital was also Tuaka Road opposite Iyedere Hospital was also done. The Iyedere APC Road, the VOA, R2 Community, Barclayville, City Street was done. The Greenville City Street was not paved because it was a chip seal.
Okay.
So there was a lot of needed to be done. Like I think many of us saw the formation of the RIA road, so we got knowledgeable how roads work are done. Beside the asphalting, there are a lot to be done on the base work before you do the pavement. So the Barclayville was done, but the Greenville, the covered lands were done. A lot of work was done, but it was not paved. That's why you see is you now that we did not touch it, but a lot of earthworks were done. The Bobolo City Street is the same, and it was 2.5. The clearing was done. A lot of things. I think I heard something around here, but we'll speak more.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, so it was also done, but the basic earthwork, the clearing, the vegetation. Because imagine, anyway, we'll talk about that. So there was also projected the Lapasi Zoo Road. These are projects that we left, So I sometimes get wavered when you cannot acknowledge other people that did it. So it was being contracted, the Lapasi Zoo Road. Mm-hmm. We did the contract was signed. The contractor is now working. I saw some pavement there. We also talking about the LRC Road, a contract that was signed and we left there on the decks. The Matadi Drive Road, the Popo Beach Road, the PCA Nizo Road, the Benafan Road, Ministerial Complex, that bypass where you see they're doing a lot of demolition. Those contracts were signed. We did the PPCC, we did everything. We were able to attract the contractor and other those ones. But, the Fontaine Town Road in Matadi was also done and paved. So these are things that we did.
Oh, so let me ask before we go to other things. How did COVID impact the workers? Do you think you have done more if COVID had not intervened for like two years plus? Did it have an effect on the workings of the ministry?
I want to say yes, the COVID impacted us greatly. And some of the roads impacted, Bapolo Road is not an exception. Bapolo Road, the City Street Road was part of that road because imagine that road was signed, that contract was signed 2019 November, and the road was abandoned for 9 months. All of the vegetation came back, and then we had to go around the table again to negotiate with the contractor and to do it. So it affected not only the Bapolo Road, but every other road. So because the road need continuous, maintenance, you're doing road, you leave it for 9 months, rainy season comes and go. So it in many ways impacted our road works.
Let's come to RIA Road. Tell us about it. It was one of the most talked about roads.
Yes, RIA Road is one of our signature projects. And it all started with East International, and I just try to get a document so I can read a little bit because it's a detailed thing. East International had this contract with the government, the past government, before the CDC government, to do community road. And then when our government came, they saw the need that there's a need that we convert or divert this project to the main RIA road to expand.
So East International was supposed to work where?
Jimmy Joa Road, the road that leading to...
That's in Bombay?
In Bombay, leading to President Ellen's...
Sir Lee's
house.
Okay.
So that project was redesigned and it went to the RIA road, the RIA highway. So then we started. So the contract was signed and we got started with the road. And I think we saw the politics around. And I can say this for free. East International, the project is, the initial contract was that East should go out there and source funding. So we were in the process, of sourcing those fundings, and East initiated the work. So to have all things to be done, we divided the project into two sections. and we had a section from Monrovia, and the other section from the airport side. And East was actually in the Monrovia side, and they subcontracted the other side to a Chinese company called CR something, Arrow, CR5 or something like that. Okay, so they actually contracted them, and they were doing their best. And then East International, for their reason, they were not doing well. And I actually said that it was being politicized. I said that East never had the capacity to do what they were doing because I was kind of always on the road, and I saw that the section, the subcontractor was exceeding. It was actually going very well, and they was kind of delaying. So East International got started with the road, and we went few percent before we left. Few areas were paved before we left.
Before you came to the paving, what all did you need, or what all was done on the road? What all did the government do?
So
did you need to pay people off? Did you need to what sort of groundworks were done and all that?
So under our government, right? The CDC like government. I will keep saying under our government because I'm representing the CDC like government. So any project we did, you have to pay the RAP payment. You have to pay those people because for some reason they have resided along those corridors for years. They didn't know when government was going to be ready to do pavement. Some of them settled, they built their homes. So we resettled almost everybody on that corridor before we got started.
Okay.
It was difficult to get started because we saw that, His Excellency, the former president, he really didn't want us to do a lot of demolition because he was, the people's person. But they will have to go on.
So it was like he kind of insisted that before you demolish people's
you have to
property,
compensate
you
them.
have to compensate.
You have to compensate them, and that's exactly what we did. Not only the RIA road, even the ministerials, the overpass bridge we're discussing today, when we were in the process of finalizing the process with the Chinese, because it's a grant, we contributed 100% to have it completed before, but they had their own set time because it's a grant. They have their own set time to get started.
So they told you when they were going to start?
Yes, they told us when they were starting 2024.
That's what the Chinese told you?
That's what they told us.
In terms of the RAP payment, did you pay? We
paid the RAP payment up to probably 90%.
Okay.
I don't want to call a name, but one of the bigger business along that side, they were part of the process. Everybody, the only person we had some issue with was the building that is actually left right there right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be the one to be calling name, but that was the building we had some issue with because our RAP team was because they were like, before the guy got started, there was some conversation held, and he continued with stopping at a point. Then he did not listen, he continued until he completed. So here the demand was actually just more than what we expected to pay, and it was just on and off and on and off.
So the building was not actually supposed to remain.
The building, when he initially started, right, we put a mic on it, like we can do. We put a mic on it, and then he still went on to do what he had to do according to the RAP team. So when it went and got completed, the value increased, and that is that value he wanted us to pay. So what we could do to free our side, the Chinese came in because we were in the process of designing and going back and forth with the design work. And then the Chinese said there's a need, should not be bothered. We can redesign this entire overpass, and he will not be affected. And that's what they did.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he's there. I think you can see he's just there. So all of the formation around him, and everything was talked about, and I mean, everybody was paid around him, and then I will move on. So everywhere we work, even on all of the projects that we listed, the African development, and one thing the World Bank and the African Development and the donor partners, they actually very keen on. You cannot do any work without settling the people, because for some reason, people don't know when you will get started. human way, I think there's a conversation supposed to be held. Yeah.
Now, what about the rubber sport from the main road to rubber sport road? Was there anything that your government did about it?
So the Medina Rubber Sport Road, it was signed. The contractor was mobilized, and the quarry site, the place is supposed to mix the quota, the crusher, right? Everything was built.
Ah.
Yes. The contractor even started work. I will give you the percentage of work we did before we left. The contractor started, I think he paid for a little portion before we left. So we had a slight delay because at first we were starting from Medina to Rubber Sport. So we had to go back on the drawing board and reverse the project to Rubber Sport to Medina because the community wanted to fill, the asphalt, because to where we were starting from Medina, nobody lived there. So we had to go back to redesign our project. That's how you see we started from Rubber Sport now coming to Medina. But that's a contract that we started, and the contractor is West Africa. This guy we call Fawaz in the SSF. He's the one. He's one of the companies that is doing that work. So that's something that we started. We have footage of everything. His whole setup. We can actually send it so you can post it for us because we just need to be clear. Everything we can say here, that's something that is weird and yeah.
Okay, now let's. I think we've done a whole lot of exhaustion with the different things that you people did. Let's talk about this Bopolu project. The current public works minister believes that some underhanded things took place. The contractor allegedly did not do any work there, and you people paid like up to $1 million to them. What do you have to say about that?
So let me give the background of this project before we go in depth. And sometimes we cannot blame the current minister of public works because he coming from a different sector, is actually leading a different sector. No engineer will say what he said on this radio. No engineer. So in other words, technically he's not inclined because he's not an engineer. We're discussing engineering here. So let me say these few things before I go further. So the road it was 3 different roads. The first one is Administrative Road 1 and 2 is 900 meters. The second road is King Saboso Street, 800 meters. The third one is Sawinta to Eriscard UMC Road. There was 3 different roads that constitute this project, and it was 2.5 kilometers. So the contractors was mobilized. I don't want to speak to the fact that I was not there, when the contract was signed. It was signed November 2019, before the COVID. So the contractor, I got some picture evidence here. The contractor worked, they did grading, they did the stone patching. These are photos, probably maybe we can post a little bit. These are photos. There was drainage done. There was drainage done. I was sending a soft copy actually, but I just wanted to show these are drainages. Stone patching. It's still there actually. So all these works were done. But when the COVID came, the contractor had to slow down. These are his earth-moving equipments that was mobilized on the side. These are guys working. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that that was work done. And the shooting aspect, almost like you're building a house, right? You start from foundation, you have to do your foundation, do the columns, do your tire beams, and do everything, and then the chip shooting is the last thing supposed to be done. So we're in the preparation of preparing the road when the COVID came. And then the contractor left the scene, and 9 months we had to call the contractor back to continue. Because even though he didn't receive the first payment, But we were negotiating that he get started. And to make him get started, he was saying, guys have already exhausted all of the money. You saw the work we did. That's how the second payment came about. But one thing I want to make clear here, at the Ministry of Public Works, our works are in phases.
Okay.
We could have phase 1 to do clearing, to do the drainages, the cover lines, and everything. That could be phase 1. We could have phase 2, maybe to do the stone patching. So there were a lot of money left in the budget for this road because we did not do the sealing.
So that means after every phase, you can do payment.
Yes, and the payment is not just done single-handedly. We don't pay it. What we do is that we initiate the payment by our own assessment. So let me just tell you the trends. We got a project engineer. We got a project engineer. We have the resident engineer. We have the director. We have the assistant engineer, the deputy minister, the assistant minister, the deputy minister, before the minister. They all go there and verify what our work was done. Then to make payment, the Ministry of Finance, they have a compliance team. They also go on the site and verify that this project, this payment request that was sent
for this phase,
it must be verified before they do the payment, including the road fund. They have a compliance team. So it actually puzzled me that somebody will sit on this radio who failed to inquire and make loose statement. And I can say I'm disappointed in the current minister to sit here and say your thing was not done. That allegation is false. We have evidence that the work was done. The only thing I know that was not done was the sealing. But sufficient work was done.
Why wasn't the sealing done?
The sealing was not done for several other reasons. So the contractor said this work have been abandoned for 9 months. He wanted us to do an addendum to increase the price. We were going back and forth with this contractor, and that's how in the King Machine 20.
What was the total value of the contract? Do you remember?
Let me just check this out. Like I said, I met this contract. I will give the total value soon. Let me just check.
So you didn't pay that total value because the full work wasn't.
Yeah, we did not pay the total value. We pay per the phase that was done.
That were done.
Exactly. So I will try to get the total value probably maybe from my phone of that project. But work was done on the road. I can say the work was done. What was not done was the sealing. Seemed like the Greenville, there was a lot of work done, a lot of clearing, a lot of compaction, everything was done. Seemed like the Riverside City Street, but the sealing was not done. So the sealing is very, very, complicated to do. You don't do it when it's raining. You don't do it when it is raining. So we have to set the base, set the stage, and when everything is set and ready, boom, you do the sealing, which is the chip sealing. So it was that stage, that it was left. You will still see the drainages. If you go on the road there, you will see the drainages. You can go to the road fund. You can go to find out those that did the compliance team. Maybe probably they have the document, but there was document to say that the contractor will mobilize the work and work was done on the site.
Okay. Now, what is this thing about you giving contract to your husband or his relative or whatever?
And I want to say thank you so much, Julius, for asking this question, because this is the question that I have tried to explain over it and over it and over it and again, and the Liberian people stay bringing it out. I do not know Sebastian Collins. He is not a relative of my husband. Oh. And the contract in question, I do not sign it. That contract was signed between Sebastian and the road fund. So the road funds, they are institutions. They sign service contract. The contract they signed was a service contract. It was not a road works contract. So that contract was signed by the finance minister, the justice minister, and the road fund. If you check that contract, you will not see my signature there. So I just don't know. But at that time, it was last, and propaganda. But we have reached the reality, and I can say this.
So this Sebastian Collins person is not related to your husband, except that they have the same last name.
The same last name, except everybody telling us that all the Collins are related to my husband in this country. I don't know Sebastian. The last time I interacted with Sebastian was, well, he wanted us to do some business, and I said, no, I cannot do any business with you because it would actually speak the foreign that I know you and you myself were doing business.
That is after this allegation came up.
No, just recently in this government.
Yeah. That is what I'm saying. After the allegation came up, he came to you that.
Yeah. So I said, no, I can't do anything with you right now because I don't want us to be seen together. People will say, oh, that's the same thing was saying. But I don't know Sebastian from anywhere, and he's not related to my husband. And the contract in question, I did not sign any contract. That was a service contract that was signed by the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Finance, and the Road Fund. I don't have my signature on that contract. So let me say this for the Liberian people to hear. I do not know about that contract.
There's this thing in your county about some road that was supposed to be done. That I've been hearing because before you came on this air, I posted that you were coming and people were sending me stuff. So there's this thing about, I don't know, some allegations against you about a road incestors.
It's the same thing. And for them, they are blessed. It's the same thing we're discussing here. There were a lot of work done, cover lines were done, roads were, grading was done, everything was done. And the contractor, there was a delay in his payment. And the contractor did not do the sealing. It was the same sealing thing we're discussing here. So I don't understand why people would think that when a contractor delay and a contractor don't pay, then the engineer or the ministers is responsible. No.
Yeah, because people are saying perhaps you allegedly ate the money.
But how? How can I take a contractor's money to be paid? The contractor is just here, sit down in, and he's he's in town here. So, and to prove that, the government, this government, our Joseph Boakai government, right? Last budget year, 2025, they put $397,000 in our budget for that same rule.
Was it done?
No, I mean, the same propaganda, the same politics, the levy and slide. In this year again, this government has put $750,000 again in the budget for the same rule. So, I don't want to go like our legislators. They must wake up to go after these things, right? They sit there, they put money in the budget, they don't go after it. It elapses. Then you want to say somebody eat money. How can I eat the contractor's money? So there were phases he did some, he was paid for some, the same thing. So the phase for which he worked, he was paid for it, and there are a lot of money. The money that was left in the budget, that somebody is still coming out. Seeing with the popular road, there was money left for the same road, and the government can still bring it out to complete the section. So how can somebody eat somebody's money?
All these things you've talked about, opportunity, the different works you did and all that, were they, and the different contracts that were already signed and stuff, were they in your turnover notes?
Which one?
All the things we've talked about in terms of achievements and different things.
Everything was in my turnover note. Everything.
Did you people at any point in time in your leadership of the ministry buy earth-moving equipment?
We did.
And it came to country? Tell us about it.
Yes. So we actually have a contract with ABK, and that contract was worth $4,864,000.
Okay.
For 42 pieces of equipment.
Okay.
Later on, we did an addendum because on the first contract, we had asphalt paver and asphalt spiral. But as a ministry, we will not do paving. So we converted these two things to 11 pickups. So we have 40 pieces of earth-moving equipment with 11 pieces of pickups. In my turnover note, we have 27 of those equipments were in country.
They came when?
It was at the ministry. We used it.
In which year did they come?
2023, all the equipments we left here, it was part of our handover note to the current leadership.
Okay.
So we had a wheel loader. We have 5 wheel loaders, which when the people can call front hand loader.
Okay.
We have 5 pieces of that. The motor grader, we have 4 pieces. The compactor, we had 3. The bulldozer, we had 1. The excavator, we had 2. The dump trucks, we had 6 dump trucks. The pickup, we had 1. The low bed, we had 2 low beds. We had a fuel tank, 1, and the jackhammer, we had 1. So all the things was handed over to the current leadership. So I just kind of wondering why people are running up and down for moving equipment. I thought that something strange. We left it at the ministry. We left this equipment there. We left 27 pieces of moving equipment at the Ministry of Public Works. And that's what they're using nowadays, doing all the demolitions. So why people not acknowledging what people did?
What about the vehicles you people were using, like Minister, the car you were using?
And thank you for bringing that out. The vehicle I was using was bought by the World Bank. We serviced it, and we filled the tank, and we left it right there for the minister. Besides that, I have some of the old project, pickup and those ones for other and the off-road service. Everything, now one of those vehicles that I had, I left everything over. And besides, we have the fall light, the one you use for construction work at nights. Mm-hmm. It was bought by the World Bank. We left everything there. Even the minister in his office, I'm surprised or I'm disappointed for him to be running that he left mess. My office, if I hadn't messy, only his computer he took there. Things that I personally bought, I bought a 75-inch television. I left it there. My entire office, my decks, my everything, I left it. Only my computer and my pictures I have on the wall I took from there. So I don't know what mess he keep talking about. How can we be doing mess and continuing with the mess that we did?
Did you mess the road sector up? That's why he said that your government could have done way better than you did. You messed it up. Some of the projects you took over from them, you did not complete. You did a whole lot of messy things.
I don't know his definition of mess. That's why I keep saying he's wrongfully placed. Technically, I think this will be the last time because we, the engineers, we will not set that to happen anymore. We'll petition any president to take somebody from in the business field to be public work minister. That's where the problem coming from. So if Guinness was an engineer, he wouldn't speak the way he speak here. We're not lecturing. This is not history class here. This is technical. That's a technical institution. So when you're saying something, you must say it with facts. For Guinness to sit and start talking about mess, how can you say mess? All the roads you left, the project today they're running with, the roads where they're breaking down homes, so that's something that we created. We created it. We formulated into project, into contract. He continue everything we started. He continued with. So what's the mess that we left behind? So the final, I think he's misplaced, and that's his challenge he faced. So probably
he seems to be doing well though. A lot of works are ongoing.
Works are going by works that we formulated, that work that we initiated, that work that we formed. And he been at the Ministry of Public Works and he was there. When he left, one old bulldozer, one escort. That's what they left there. We met there as a government. Today, I don't know whether it stayed there, but we left it there. When we were leaving, we handed it over. So there are a lot of things. I want to say this. You can't be living in a glass house and be throwing stone. So Guinness need to watch his steps because we watching everything he's doing. We're watching every steps. Today, we're discussing, there's a painting project that was ongoing. Today is actually stalled.
A painting project where?
Within the Public Works Ministry, in and around the Public Works Ministry. You can come in and ask him, what happened to that project? Who was the contractor? Who is the contractor?
What do you think is happening?
He would be the best person to explain.
No, it seems you have heard something. Is it a painting project that he initiated or what?
That's why I'm saying, he should know how to come on radio and say false things about people that he do not know. He can come here and tell us that was 0 things that were done in Bopuli Road, and you see all of the evidence, everything there. I know the contractor did not finish because they didn't seal it, but you can't sit and be saying things that technically is not true. That's what I'm saying. So he should know that he's not an angel. He got his own mistakes that he's doing along the line, and we're watching it.
What will you have done differently this whole demolition thing. I don't know. I was not in your cabinet, but if the government needs to carry out development, money business is not so common around. You need to open up alleys. The overhead bridges ongoing. You need to open up alleys and different things, and people have built on those alleys. You gave them 2-3 months to move, and they cannot move. You have the only option to demolish. What would you have done?
No, I just want to make this clear. The overpass bridge was paid for up to 90% before we left. Those that were living along the way of the overpass bridges were paid for.
Yeah, I mean these other demolitions that took place to Roto Town and all that stuff.
So in my mind,
what will your government have done?
Okay, what I think our government would have done is nobody is in a rush. We have a budget. We could have gone to the legislator to create a line in our budget to have put some funding there to compensate those that have been on those roads. Like I'm hearing Slipway. From the time I was born, I never knew there's a road that passing through Slipway that going somewhere else. People have been living there over 20, 30 years. For God's sake. You need to come and sit around the tables and discuss this issue. You don't just do the thing forcibly as though you are in a rush. We're not in a rush. So in my government, right, we will first, bring this, for the legislator to put it in the budget. So we have a line item that will actually support our action. That will have been, our position.
Put money there to pay people off, to at least compensate them. That is what you have done. Why do you think your government's policy did not focus much on working on lateral roads, keep them passable throughout the years, but mostly paving? But I don't know if it is true, but I actually heard that this was President Weah's argument that it is better to just pave it than to be working on the lateral roads and all of that. Is it true? And if it is true, why was that a policy?
So let me say this, right? Before we got to the Ministry of Public Works, there was a policy that I did not read, but there was a policy I made there that the Ministry of Public Works can do their own works. And when we brought in those equipment, we used it sufficiently. Some of the roads you see the guys doing right now, this government doing, there were enough boulder rocks. There were enough boulder rocks that we hauled on those roads. So there was enough boulder rocks. We hauled from the River Gisa coming to there were a lot of rocks. Even the Sestoha, there was a lot of boulder rocks. So when a boulder rock is there, because of the water on the road, you have to put in a lot of boulder rock, and then you will kind of have the place to be stabilized. And that's what we started doing. So even if we were going to come back, we were still going to concentrate on repairing some of the roads like that, because we already initiated most of the roads. Even though our guys, they got a lot of money, because I know that road gets stuck 22 million when, and it was there. But we did a lot. We put boulder rocks there to stabilize those critical sections along the road. And we had a plan. And now the plan probably doing. So we did lateral roads. The only thing the lateral road is almost like a waste, because after every rainy season, you have to redo what you did. Some of the road, they get deteriorated. Everything was spoiled, everything. So you got to do it all over again. So we were thinking that at least as a government, we can do 5-6 kilometers, at least we're going ahead. Even though we're doing all the maintenance, we're doing all the areas, but we're still going to concentrate on the pavement because there's no way you can do it. People came, a lot of professional people came. They passed through the walls of the Ministry of Public Works. I was there. Today, Guinness is there. He was also Minister Guinness is there. He will also leave. So we can't sit there and act like we are so sophisticated, we are too professional, we are the smartest, and then we try to castigate other people. So there's a shared idea. We still have a lot of challenge in the infrastructure sector. Nobody will tell you that everything is bread and butter, and no one government will do it. That's why the government continues, and that's why we all have to work together as a team to build this country, because there are a lot more to be done.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's go to the phone lines. But before we can go there, let's understand the equipment business that you left. You said you budgeted to bring in, I think, 40 plus?
42 pieces of equipment, right? So
Uh-huh.
we paid this contractor, and we were owing the contractor 800, I think $8,400, 800.
1,000.
Yes. So this government just needed to pay that contractor, and bring the rest of the equipment. I think the few that was talking with the contractor said, you still owe the government. He said, the government owe me just 800,000 to bring almost 20 pieces of equipment, and that's it. That have been a challenge. The contractor can be paid, the contract is hanking, and the rest of the equipment are still with the contractor.
Okay, 777-700-995, 555-995, the numbers to call. And you will be true. We have with us former Public Works Minister Ruth Cocotte Collins, presenting her side of the story, as we always do. Bring all of the sides and hear from them. Welcome, and let's hear you.
Thank you very much, Georgia. This is Akaros.
Go ahead, former Representative Gray.
Thank you for inviting the minister. I love the counterbalance. Madam Minister, you have done extremely well. But I would just love for you to just re-emphasize on the issue of the demolition, especially when people are being affected. And maybe you can elevate the conversation on the RIA rule and that of the Our Sport rule. But I really want to tell you, thank you, Madam Minister. An engineer is just different from a politician. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so kindly for your call, Mr. Politician, too. Let's take former Assistant Minister Jeff Jackson. Jeff, welcome.
Yes, how are you, Julius? And Minister, thank you for the explicit conversation today. Julius, as the minister said, right, we inherited a far messy public works from Giddings than what we gave him. We gave Giddings a paved yard. Public work entire yard was
No, but when the Salif administration was leaving, Gideon was deputy minister. He wasn't minister proper. It was Judy Moore who was the minister.
He was in the hierarchy of the ministry. So that's why what was handed over to us, a far messy Ministry of Public Works, and we gave you a far better public work. We left a public work with more equipment. Minister, we received 23 pieces of the equipment. The balance on that contract is $840,000.
She says so.
Yes, together. So we left you with, we received one completely messed up bulldozer, one excavator that was completely damaged. Those were the only two equipment we received from the Ministry of Public Works. We left them with over 23 pieces of brand new equipment and a contract for 47 pieces of equipment. That's the kind of public work we left. Come to the demolition. Look, we built roads in Clara Town, Doe community. We didn't break one house down. We didn't, Julius, because we have professional people that are doing it. Look, I'm a team that the team at the Ministry of Public Works is far more, is so much incompetent. And Minister, let's be clear about this. They are so incompetent. That's why you see them going around breaking people's houses and making people homeless.
Thanks so kindly, Jeff. I saw Benjamin Myers from the ministry calling. Benjamin, you can call back. Let's hear from your end before I take other calls quickly. Okay, let's go overseas before your call comes back in. Welcome, let's hear you.
Hi, Julius. Thank you for taking me.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is James Bole. I'm calling from Pennsylvania. So, my sister in the roof is my sister. We went to school together. I'm so proud of her. I mean, I'm happy that she went up to that level. So, my concern this morning is as she was deliberating and listening to her. But you see, Liberia got a problem, Julius. We have to go beyond this partisan issue and try to focus on Liberia and take Liberia first before party. These two big group of people, the Unity Party and the CDC, wherever they go to this kind of discussion, they try to elevate the party other than the country. I mean, she explained everything. My own sister, but I mean, I got problem with some of her explanation. I know that she's trying to be economical with the truth.
In terms of what?
I'm not aware of everything. That's what I'm coming to. Like, I pick up two things. That made me to know that everything she said over there is not true. So, when she talked about the UKPA project, the UKPA road, you asked her a question. That was there any work done on the road? She said she doesn't know. She had to check, which is not true. He has all the
No,
documents.
no, no, no. It was Ganta. Wait on, Chief. Hello, Chief. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
It was the Ganta to Sanikule. She said it was in progress. Hello.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, she said it was in progress before she became minister. So she cannot say.
I agree. And that's why I'm trying, that's the same thing I'm talking about. So she knew, because all these projects, there were turnover, there were documents to it. So, but the reason why she didn't want to say it is because everybody want to elevate themselves.
No, but Chivo, and she admitted to projects that they inherited, and she said that there were 4 or 5 different things that she said their government inherited from the previous administration. So why do you think she would not clearly talk about that one too?
She talked about those projects, but she did not tell you the progress of those projects. But when she was discussing about the project that day, she was very, very eloquent. She told you exactly what all they did. We secured the phone, we did all the cover, we did all this. She was eloquent, but when she talked about the project that they inherited, she didn't tell you anything like that.
But she would know and are the other government supposed to know the percentage?
But that's why I'm telling you, because the two government, that's the problem they got. And they
Oh,
don't
okay.
take it like first, they take
I get your point.
first.
Okay.
So now you get that project, Julius, I used to work in your When that project started. So all the coverage were done. There were a lot of movement on our road. She should have been very, to just say, let her try to, she's a professional woman. I'm very, very proud of her. Let her try to get above the fray of all the party stuff.
Okay, thanks.
Project also. The Lofa project, she did not tell us a lot about the Lofa project. We know that there was a groundbreaking on that Lofa project and everything. So she didn't want to go through it to say, oh, money was secure and this. She didn't want to.
Yeah, but and she said she said they left it at 91%. They didn't finish it.
But where did they meet it? She didn't tell you where they met it.
But okay, do you have an idea if that project started before they came to power?
Yes, because I'm from Lofa also. Before they started that project, there was movement on our road. I mean, there were surveyors basically on our road. They were surveying on our road. And then we know that before even the first UP left, there was some groundbreaking. You can't tell me there's no money and there will be groundbreaking. Even judgment was part of our groundbreaking.
Okay.
They all program. So that means the money was there. Let it be truthful to the Liberian people.
Okay, thanks so kindly.
He just talks all kind of thing about union party, all this. They have to stop it.
Okay, thanks so kindly for your call. I appreciate it. Let's hear from Ministry of Public Works, Benjamin Myers. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Julius. Thank you for letting me in. So I listened to the minister. I'm not going to use some of the foul words she used. It's going to be kept at the ministerial level. But then I was particularly concerned about a few things she said. She said they did not leave a messy public works. Everything was intact. All of the roads were being constructed. And Minister Gideon is trying to, make a different case. But one thing I can say, we all know that Circum Lot 1 and 2 from Ganta to Seklepie, from Seklepie to Tapeta, that those roads were stalled. And the simple reason was that road is being constructed as a result of counterpart funding, and the government had the responsibility to have paved from Ganta to Seklepie.
She said it.
Financing the project was paving.
She said it. She said they have financial constraints.
Yeah, so it is as a result of an irresponsible leadership that they could not remit their share of the money to the contractor, and because of that, the contractor had to withdraw, and the World Bank also, seeing that Liberia was not serious, had to slow down its project. When Minister Gideon took up by convincing the government that there was a need to have continued the road. Currently, you see, there are ongoing works on that road. Also, the minister did not mention between Banga to Salaye. Banga to Salaye road, the same thing happened. A counterpart funding. The government did not remit the project. And as a result of that, that project stalled. What the minister wants to lecture us today, Freeport to St. Paul Bridge, that contract was signed with MDNC under her leadership. That contract was messy, and they gave the contractor first. Her office, she wrote an individual letter to the contractor creating an addendum to the project, something that violates all standards. Now, when the minister came, the contractor had a letter. Who asked you to create an?
I don't know why a line is breaking up, man.
Sorry, we letter from the minister's office creating an addendum to the project, whereas that followed. Well laid down.
Ben, I don't know where you are, but your call keeps breaking up, keeps buffering.
Oh, yeah. Am I better now?
Yeah, better quickly.
Yeah, am I better? So the many projects were stalled. Even all of the lateral roads she's speaking about, how they put border rocks in certain places, those things are untrue. Julius, you were here. The country, by the rainy season, nobody could move in the country. Even to Ruth Copper Collins' hometown, people could not easily go there. So even cross Bijo Town, lead to Mason Region, Festus Junction, it was very difficult. Those are one of the difficult places, some of the difficult places to even move during the rainy season. Under Minister Giddens, the president's 100-day deliverable worked effectively. All of those critical sections were restored using strategic engineering.
Okay.
And during the rainy season, people could move. I come to Julius.
But because of time now. Because of time, I mean.
People could move freely. It is a shame for the former minister, to sit on radio and try to write off something that has never been witnessed in the history of Liberia.
Okay.
To conclude, she spoke about leading a better ministry. Julius, I will tell you no lie. I can bring you pictures. I can bring you video of a filthy, a dirty, a leaking ministry that the minister left. Even on the minister's desk was leaking.
Okay. So she used to be working and be leaking on her desk.
Be leaking on her desk.
Okay.
I can bring you photographs.
Okay. Thanks so kindly because of time. Welcome. Let's hear you quickly. We have to go back to our guests. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius. You know, the Australian guest actually did well in government because she had never worked in the government before, and she came into government, her first time in government, and she did what she did. And the CDC government, they were lacking to explain to the Liberian people the work we're doing. But you know, when it comes to road work, you know, I'm not an engineer. But when I first came to this country, the first 5 years, I worked with a lot of road companies and road construction companies. Somebody can just go build road today, then you start putting quota. Most especially when it comes to the urban work, you know, here the horses, nobody get a whole separate thing. All the horses, their sewages are connected to the main road. That's a pipe that lay on the main road. Before you start building, you have to do all those things. You got to lay pipe, you got to do this, you got to do that. So all the road getting building that they're talking about paving, I bet you if they are starting those roads from zero, they are not even going to 10% on some of those roads.
Okay, thanks. So kindly we'll hold you there. The line is so hot. Let's take former Deputy Minister Todd. Deputy Minister Todd, welcome quickly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Julius. Thank you. Because of time, I will be here. So quickly, Minister, thank you for the brilliant presentation. The reality is the Minister of Public Works will turn over to the current regime in a better position than we met it. Jeff, I already stated that. You said stated that. But the reality is, you cannot say that the former regime turned over mess to this current regime.
Did you leave a massive leaking ministry? It was leaking on the minister's desk, allegedly.
Those are petty politics, so I don't want to get there. Let's speak to the Liberian people's interests. Number one, the Doe community road is now a mess. The road from Ganta to Sagapie, all other regimes before the CDC government have always tried to construct. It was not a mess. The road from Sagapie to Tabeta, it was not a mess. Legitimate contract. The road from Ganta to Seneca was not a mess. The road from Seneca to Cample, Locato was not a mess. The road from Seneca to the mining field, Yekepa, was not a mess. Another talk about road. Government in government, I grew up over here. The famous Medicoma road was not a mess. Meaning you have to start in stages. From Bada to Sagapie to
Salaye.
To Salaye, it wasn't a mess. You can't say the roads were a mess. Massive situation. And many other community roads, the Dwaka road, and all the roads in the rehab community, the other two community road, the Rutherford Highway.
She named all of them. Yeah, she named all of them. You don't need to belabor the point.
The fact is, Julius, the Minister of Public Works was in a far better position.
Okay.
Quickly, you had two equipment. All two were broken down. All two were broken down. One excavator and one motor grader. It was all broken down. We left over 40 some more pieces in brand new ones. All right, you don't need to pay the balance money to get the balance, but we have brand new equipment in stock. We have trucks in stock. You cannot intervene. You cannot make a substantial intervention.
Okay.
When you don't have the equipment to support it.
Thanks so kindly. So we'll hold you there. We'll have to go back to her for the last 4 minutes. Let's squeeze in Benedict. Call you back, former Assistant Minister of Finance. Benedict, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Minister. You're doing extremely well. I want to say thank you. One of the things, Julius, you need to ask the former Power Minister, all the messy road contract we left, whether they change those messy contractors, because if it was messy with us, they should have changed all the contractors. Madam Minister, I just want you to throw small light on the road, because they ain't listening on the road from Sanniquellie to Tapeta, because the most progress they have made on kilometer of road is from that road from Sanniquellie to Tapeta.
No, that's Saclay-Pierre to
Tapeta.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We'll hold you there. Let's squeeze in this one. Welcome, 30 seconds.
Hello, Julius. My name is Mamen Sikaba, and hello to the guests.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Minister, thanks for the excellent presentation. I am so proud of you as a woman, and I believe that a lot of young women see you as their role model. This is a reason why women should be given the opportunity to study and to learn, rather. Somebody said she was being economical of the truth. No, she wasn't. She didn't want to be a liar because the other gender lies with no fear. What she tried to say, you, Julius, when you asked her whether the past United Party-led government was the one that started the project, she said she has to do her research because she met the project ongoing from her predecessor, which is the late minister. So she cannot lie and say, oh, yes, it was done or it wasn't done. So she was not being economical with the truth. And our policy on demolition was very excellent because we believe in the people. Every power, every government is constituted for the people. So if a government becomes so much insensitive and doesn't care about how the people will feel or how the people will live, then it becomes a problem.
Thanks. So kind of worry that. Let's take Engineer Delano Bryant quickly. I'm fine. Go ahead.
Hello, Minister. Real quick, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, you can go ahead quickly. She's listening.
Okay. I just want to make a few points here on the conversation that's unfolding regarding the infrastructure sector of Liberia.
Hello? You went off. I think we just hold it there, folks. We'll give us the last 4 minutes to respond. And also, the final question from my end will be the infrastructure conference. You wrote about it, and then the minister later on said they invited you, then we didn't see you. Yeah.
So you want me to start with that?
Yeah, start with that. Start
Okay,
with that and then respond.
The communication we wrote, it was not that we were craving to attend. For the matter of fact, we wrote that to document our current leadership because that was not the first. They have had other engagement. In fact, the Road Fund and other people, they had other engagement, and there was no communication actually written to any of us. I was kind of saying this to say that we are all Liberians. If you have your space to do your work, you work and leave. We are not enemies. So that communication was written for us to archive it so that when he is served in us out of government, that he can use it as a reference, but not that I was actually really craving to attend. So when his communication came, when his online invitation came, I was actually, I had another engagement to go to. That's why I did not attend it. And he did not call me. Nobody called me. Nobody called me, and I saw some text message from somebody telling you coming or you're not coming. So, so I had to do other things, that I have already planned to do. But the communication was not basically because I wanted to attend.
It was just to make a point that this should have happened and it didn't happen.
Exactly. I think it was clear.
Okay, can you respond to the other things quickly? We have just 2 minutes.
So we are not disappointed to listen to the caller from the Ministry of Public Works to speak the way he spoke. We are decent. We paved the Ministry of Public Works. We changed roof. We did a lot of work. To say we left a message, Public Works, it's not strange because our people, they are noted for that. They speak things that are not true. They speak lies. And they don't say the truth to things. So I wouldn't be bothered too much to respond to that. But one thing I want you to know that...
Did you have a leaking desk?
How possible that could be? How possible that could be my office or leaking office? That's false and misleading. That's false and misleading. And he said he got footage. Let him show them. So we are discussing issue. That's why we see we got people that went to the Ministry of Public Works and don't have no knowledge of what they're supposed to be doing there. And I think both of the guys supposed to be sent to the Information Ministry because that's where, you go there and discuss, you politicize everything. So there's a guy we called and said we were not cleared with our conversation about the Lofa Road. We left the Lofa Road at 94.04%. We paved 67 kilometers out of 8140.
No, he was talking about the origins. He said you didn't speak about the origins. He said there was some work already started.
No, nothing was actually done. Everybody know that President Weah and the former President Mananseli, they broke ground together, and that was all. Nothing else was done. And the project was just like that until we got started with it.
Okay.
So everybody know that the project was signed or it was the ground was broken during the first regime, but we did it to the level that we did it. We're discussing at what level we did it. So I'm not going to be saying nothing. Everything I'm saying yet, I think the fact findings can actually go ahead with that. So he talks about the road leading, the lateral road, the reason why it was not done rightfully, because we were not responsible government. That's not true. I got a video that I was sent, probably you can post it. When we were leaving, the last day we were leaving office, I got a footage that I drove from, I got a photo that we drove, a video, got a video that we drove from Sesto within, 2 hours to that point it was standing. So the road was pliable. But like I said, every reading season, even like he's saying right now, they're going reading season, it was tough to enter Sesto. Car was stuck on that road for days.
Okay.
So every reading season, you have to go back and recondition the road, and that's what happened. So he cannot sit here and he had 22 million to use or to do whatever and to use it. We did our best. we rehabilitated and we maintained most of the roads. So
thanks so kindly, Madam Minister, former Minister, for accepting our invite. That's how we go. The OK Conversation will be back here on tomorrow. We have an email lawmaker. Thanks so kindly.
You didn't allow me to say my goodbye.